Here we are! And now I will give 1 second, because it seems like YouTube doesn't immediately go live, so I want to make sure I have, like, a good intro. But if I'm in it, well, there it is. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome! From the studios of Virtuos and Bethesda, we have... Elden Ring! Wait, that's not the right game. No! It is Oblivion! Oh man, I had like a sick transition planned and I was not ready at all, dude. My display capture is not set up. Hold on, wait, let me start over. Hold on. I got a cool intro, man. I got hold on. Wait. Let's just pretend that none of that happened. Welcome in. And we got a funny chat here from Arion Silverwolf. Welcome in. Hello. Arion says, dude, the notifications from your disco keep crashing my phone. It's simultaneously hilarious and confusing. Dude, I haven't launched a disco since my Coney Island Disco Palace days, so I don't know how your disco is going in my feed. But dude, I'm grooving. Enjoy your disco. You're gonna keep that in mind. Yeah, Salmon, yeah, this is a 120 gigabytes game. You thought Call of Duty was bad. This thing is going to call your duty when it's done with you. It's extremely faithful to the original, so it's all worth it in the end. Yeah, I bet. And yeah, this is kind of cool too, because I guess people who can't run the game, they can at least enjoy it through Twitch. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna try this again. From the makers of a lot of really good games, I bring to you from Virtuos. Wait, why is the window all weird? Hey! Oblivion! What the? Why does it look like that? Stop! What is it doing? Wait. What is this? What's the little tiny screen? Stop this. What's going on? Wait. Hey. Oh, wait, I got it. Dang it! Alright, let's do that a third time. Hold on. It needs to be perfect. Here we go. I got a question from Samang in the chat. He says, "This is your first Elder Scrolls game?" Yes, this is my first Elder Scrolls game ever. Arion, yes, I know, I'm messing with you. Oh, hold on. Yeah, I've never played any Elder Scrolls game in my life. I've been completely Fallout, and that's like the only Bethesda thing that I am like locked in with at all. So yeah, this is gonna be interesting, I think. It'll be a good time. Transform, flip, horizontal. And we'll be doing it standing as well, so I have a lot of movement. I can hack and slash. Alright. Now, here is our official intro. This will be the real one. If it doesn't work this time, we will continue. We have a lot of game to play. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to formally welcome you to this Oblivion Virtuos adventure. I'd like to bring you Oblivion! I am the man in the burning tomb. The Elder Scrolls 4 Remastered. Some exits I'm familiar. I see that you're familiar with the Bethesda formula. Yeah, it's a where's my thing? The first half of the story is where's my thing? And then the other half is I gotta stop this evil force. So I've heard that like every single game, at least in Fallout, that's true. Because in the third game, it's where's my dad? Then the fourth game is where's my son? And then in the show, it's where's my dad again? So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that would be the exact same formula for this game. All right, are we ready? Let me zoom out a bit. That's too much. Yeah, that's about good. That should be good. Let me just let me move in some and zoom in. There, perfect. And then Salmon says, and then in New Vegas it is who the frick shot me. Alright, here we are. The Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Ah, yes, the magic scroll. Now, we should read this to its full and entirety, but we could just simply click accept. That's a shame. It seems as though there's some kind of magical barrier here preventing me from clicking accept unless I scroll down to the bottom of the scroll. It would be unwise of me. I may even have to pay with my blood if I don't read this contract in its full and entirety. You never know. I may just be sent into a realm, so therefore we shall read it. End User License Agreement, also known as the EULA. You should carefully read this entire following End User License Agreement before buying, downloading, installing, using, or playing the game, as defined below, or any related software and/or content. This agreement contains important terms that affect your legal rights. By buying, downloading, installing, using, or playing the game, you agree to be bound by the terms of this agreement. If you do not agree as to all the terms of this agreement, please do not, and you are not permitted to, download, install, use, or play the game. This is the most important aspect I have ever seen. This is literally telling me I am legally not allowed. And this is the lore of the game, guys. I actually agree with what Sam is saying. This is storytelling. This is like the prelude of the game, so I'm excited. We're going to read this full and entire contract because I am bound by law. I am bound by the blood to the point where the lore of this game is so in-depth, it actually transcends into real life. I have to read it. It's right here in black and white. Therefore, I will. Oh, God. Dude, my phone is so slippery ever since I took my case off. It just jump scared me. The whole thing just slid off of my table and landed on my keyboard, and it went... Oh, man. Alright, very well. We shall proceed by reading this entire thing. By downloading, installing, or using this game, you confirm that you have read the End-User License Agreement, the ZeniMax Terms of Service, and the ZeniMax Media Privacy Policy. Oh, so this is only scroll number 1 of 3. So get ready. This exciting 1 hour and 30-minute adventure will be the first prelude of the game that explains all of our legal rights. I am thrilled and ready to go. Once again, I have never played an Elder Scrolls game, and this is the first scroll of the Elders that has been presented upon me. I am so ready. I am so ready to read this entire thing, and I will not make haste of it any longer. Collectively, in this agreement, you further acknowledge and understand that ZeniMax will process your personal information according to ZeniMax Media Privacy Policy, with more details available at Bethesda.net/document/privacy policy. If you do not accept the terms of this agreement, or you have not read and understood the ZeniMax Media Privacy Policy, do not download, install, or use this game. No. It appears we've already hit a dialogue impasse. Allow me to make a new tab here. It seems as though we need to continue our reading at Bethesda.net/document/privacy policy. Now remember, this game has forbade us from continuing with the agree button until we read this entire thing, so we must do it. So stay tuned. Here we are. There are 15 sections in this ZeniMax privacy policy, and I am more than thrilled to read the full and entire thing, because we cannot continue this until we read this full and entire section of the policies. Now, let's see if there is any subsections here. For example, this section 13, if I click on this, it will simply take us to a section of choice. So, fingers crossed, this is the full and entire contract. I think we'll be alright if we make it through this segment. But there's going to be a whole lot more to read. I'm going to go ahead and, we might as well turn down the music filter here a bit. That way we have more epic music without it overpowered by my voice, of course. So I will turn it up by 5 decibels. Here we are. Ah, yes. Alright, now, we have already been hindered with this first impasse, and this is a unskippable dialogue here. As it says that if we don't agree with this ZeniMax Media Privacy Policy about how our information is contained, we cannot any further continue with this game. Therefore, at the effective date of June 17, 2024 and onward, the ZeniMax Media Privacy Policy, also known as a policy in its own term, describes how ZeniMax Media Inc. and its subsidiaries, including ZeniMax Europe Limited and other game studios. More information at zenimax.com/. English/studios to learn more about our studios. I believe that's an optional side quest here. We don't need to read this one. Collectively, ZeniMax, we, our, or us, in a collective use, disclose or otherwise process your personal information as well as rights and choices you have disregarding such personal information. For California residents, okay, this is skippable because I don't live in California. We're going to skip that. We'll speedrun that segment. ESRB privacy certification. ZeniMax is a valid licensee and participating member of the Entertainment Software Rating Board Privacy Certified Program, also known as the ESRB Privacy Certified. All services where this policy is posted that also display an ESRB Privacy Certified seal have been reviewed and certified by the ESRB Privacy Certified to meet established online information collection, use, and disclosure practices. As a licensee of this privacy program, we are subject to audits of our services and other enforcement and accountability mechanism administered independently by the ESRB. For more information about the ESRB Privacy Certified, please see the ESRB/privacy. You can review this information about our privacy practices and your rights and choices in the following sections. Okay, luckily for us, the people at the ESRB have taken this time to give us a synopsis of what the ESRB entails for what information will be processed through us by playing this game. Therefore, we do not need to visit the privacy policy website as listed above, as it is disclosed for us in a convenient 15 chapters section. So we can break it down into a much smaller, more easily digestible. Section 1. The scope of our policy. Chat, are you able to read this text or should I zoom it in? You know, I'm gonna go ahead and say, we'll go ahead and go for the zoom here. Here we go. This should be more than readable. Oh, hold on. We've got our first line of engagement here at the footer of our screen. It says, we value your privacy.
Fox.
This website uses first and third-party cookies to better understand your preferences, optimize our website and services, enhance our user experience, personalize content and ads, and provide social media and other third-party features. More information on our cookie policy. All right. It seems as though we've come across our first enemy. We need to see who this cookie policy is. Here we are. We've tangented into the cookie policy effective as of June 17th. And here we will learn what a cookie is. Our websites, online services, and mobile applications and games, together as services, use cookies, pixels, tags, local storage, and other software tracking tools collectively known as cookies, unless otherwise noted, which may distinguish you from our services. We use cookies for a variety of reasons, and further described below, including to operate, protect, and improve our services, track bugs and errors, and enable social media and other features to provide you with a good experience when you use our services. Note, okay, I want you to look at this. At this part of the screen, this is considered a good experience. To sit through and read all of this, just so that you can get yourself Elder Scrolls legally and indefinitely. I am going to be the first person in the world to actually legally bind myself to the Elder Scrolls. You think I'm not going to freaking read it? I will. I'm going to read this whole thing, man. PW Playthroughs, welcome back. Thanks for following. I appreciate you. Salmon says, let him cook. Salmon in the stream says, this is the part of the Foxotic stream where you mute the stream and watch a different video. What do you mean? Listen, I was engaged. I was engaged to this. I did not sign up for this. I am currently signing up for this. If I want to be able to play this game, need I remind you, Salmon, and everyone else in the chat, it says right here at the top of the policy, if you do not agree to all of the terms of agreement, please do not, and it is disclosing in parentheses, not just please do not, you are not permitted to download, install, use, or play this game. Everybody who's streaming on Twitch right now is illegally playing this game. They have not read a single lick of this. I'm not trying to go to jail, man. These people will pay with their blood if I don't make sure I am thoroughly informed of what I am getting into for 120 gigabytes of an experience. As far as I know, this is pretty much a synopsis of what a cookie is and how they use it. You may also delete, block, or disable one or more cookies via your browser. So anything within here is part of optional ads. Here is what is necessary, also known as essential. Everything else that we can decline, and therefore I will, which means we don't need to read this full and entire thing. We've got a lot more to read. Necessary essential cookies are necessary for the services to function properly and cannot be switched off in the cookie settings menu for our services. Without these cookies, the services will not function properly. For example, when we use the cookies to remember information you have entered on forums during a web browser session to identify you as being logged into our website, or for security purposes, such as to detect and prevent bot activity, malicious traffic, and suspicious logins activity, and to route users to specific applications, specific servers, to optimize the page and content loading, and to manage traffic. You can set your browser to block or alert you about these cookies, but if you block them, certain parts of this website or the services may not function or properly be available to you. Some necessary cookies may be managed for us by third parties, and these privacy policies may collect IP addresses referring to URL in the browser and device-related information through these cookies. Very well. Very well. I think I can agree to that. So basically what it's saying is that they need to know who I am. If you're going to use the Bethesda site and its cookies within, they need to know who you are for security purposes only, and to make sure that if you do have the Bethesda account that you are indeed signed in, and it saves that on the page for your convenience. You don't have the option of not having it saved for your convenience, because they want to make sure that your experience is, air quote, good. Very well. I accept these terms. We will move back to our settings here. We will enable our cookie preferences because I have not legally read the rest of this, and I cannot. However, this one does give you the option, unlike the remastered game. Notice how I can click Allow All without scrolling down. That's the important distinction. In this one, I don't have to read this whole thing, and it does not say that I'm legally bound to do so. Therefore, I will confirm my choices as here. Always active, the necessary ones. These ones for sale and selling my personal information? Absolutely not. I want all of them off. You are not to sell anything of mine. If you want to sell anything, it would be me doing the selling of when I have my sticker merchandise within the coming month. Get ready to get yourself a copy of the first edition of the Foxotic stickers. I will confirm my choices, and now we can proceed. Let's see, have we made our way back to... I think we've made our way back to the actual agreement. Yes, we're now back into the privacy policy, and we are now at the services tab, I believe here. The scope of our policy, except as otherwise noted below, this policy applies to the personal information that ZeniMax collects to processes related to our services, which include our mobile applications, games and websites, and other services, and the feature thereof, including games published and developed by Bethesda Softworks, ZeniMax, and other online studios and other ZeniMax studios, contests, sweepstakes, promotions, events, research, and surveys that we sponsor or conduct. And in case number 3, the other content, products, and services that we make available to customers, purchasers, and subscribers, players, and or the user. So for this service section here, what this is saying is that if you play any of our games, you are automatically forfeiting all of your information to us regardless of how you use Bethesda and its services. They have it. You need to know as soon as you click play on that, you're going to have your information stored on their online studio store, the ZeniMax studio store, the contests, the sweepstakes, the promotions. They know who you are before you even knew about it, before the contest was even conjured. They have you. They have you because you clicked agree. Very well, I will accept this policy. I suppose you can know who I am, and I believe it is my goal on twitch.tv for people to know who I am. So what's one more person? Now, I wonder if there's a section that will talk about promoting me as a person. If they know who I am, maybe they want to promote me as well. Well, let's continue. Individuals who subscribe to receive news, information, or marketing communications from us will also be included in this privacy policy if they agree to engage in such. individuals who engage with us at conferences, expos, and other events in which we... Interesting! All right, here's an interesting highlight here. If you meet these people in person, if you click agree to the Oblivion game and you introduce yourself to them, they will harvest that information and use it at their own disposal with anything that is entailed in this thing. So even if you click I agree on this game and never play it, but then meet them in person and say, hey, I was that guy that clicked that game, they will collect your information right then and there. That's a hard bargain to drive, but I think we can move on. Here's what's not covered by this. Wait, hold on, I missed a section. Users and individuals that communicate or engage with us related to our services and our business communicate with or about us and our content on third-party platforms and social media pages, otherwise interact with us online or offline. If you talk, if you engage, if you associate yourself in any way with Bethesda, in any fashion, online or offline, you have forfeited all of your privacy rights onto them. Now, in the case that they would actually do that, I mean, it may be seldom, but they do legally have the right to say, I want to know who you are, and I will take that information, and I will use it, and I will sell it. So be careful. Tread gracefully. Here's what's not covered in this policy. This policy does not apply to job applicants and candidates who apply for the employment with us, or to employees and non-employee workers in the context of working relationship with them. This policy does not apply to any third-party websites, services, products, or mobile applications maintained by companies. I believe we found a speedrun skip here. If this policy is null and void, if we become a potential candidate for Bethesda, that means that this policy does not apply to us. So therefore, we're going to go to ZeniMax's job application site and make a quick application. Who we are. Yeah. We'll get through all this. We don't need this. We've already given them the cookie preferences. We can do this. We're gonna make a job application. It doesn't matter what it is. Amateur, senior de. All right, where's Bernie? Is Bernie here? We need help. We need French, Montreal. Amatrice senior de creatures. All right, here we go. I don't think there's any agreements with this. It's fine. It's French. It's 3 years of experience. Apply online. We can make this contract null and void. Apply for this online. Email Foxotic. Perfect. All right, now we can just sign in with, let's see. What would be the best way to do this? So I need to upload a resume. I need to upload a cover letter. We can do this task. We've made our first task to sidetrack ourselves from the main quest, to make this policy null and void. This gets rid of the privacy policy in its entirety, at least up to this forum. So what we need to do is quickly pull out the ChatGPT, and we're gonna make an application for a French Bethesda studio, and you need to have 3 years of experience. I don't even speak French. All right, I'm gonna say, I need a 3-year. What is this? What is this for? I need a 3-year experience resume. Just a bunch of bullcrap for Bethesda job. Animateur 3 senior de creatures. Oh, I get it. He's a senior animator. He's a senior animator of creatures. I understand. Okay, I don't need to know French to do this, but we're gonna do it. 1 page. Impressive. Boom. All right, here we go. Is it gonna do it in French? Senior creature animator, Austin, Texas, Art Station. All right, yeah. 3 creatures at email.com. All right. Let me make sure this doesn't dox me, because it might remember stuff about me, even though I'm not in Texas. Yeah, no, we're good. All right, yo, check this out. I am a dynamic and visionary senior creative animator with 3 years of hands-on experience crafting immersive, lifelike creatures and performances in AAA games. Passionate about pushing the boundaries of animation to enhance gameplay, narrative, and player immersion. All right, let's do it. The old copy-paste. Again, the reason why we're doing this, if you're just coming in, is that we're trying to get through the first segment of Oblivion, which is the agreement We legally cannot play this game until we get past the privacy policy. But the problem is we have to read it, and as it says in the first section of it, this whole contract that we read so far is completely null and void if we are a candidate or a potential employer to Bethesda or ZeniMax Studios. So in order to skip reading through the whole thing, we have to apply for a job. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to also make sure, I don't know what's on my Google Docs. There might be some plans, some big plans. Here we are. The Bethesda agreement. And we're going to use emojis, and we're going to not even make it single space, dude. It's 3 pages. It's 3 pages. We're going to call it Untitled Document, and we'll make it a PDF. Untitled Document. Very good. All right, now, let's get... where did the GPT go? Come here. Now, you... All right, now a 300-word cover letter explaining how we... applied for this job in order to legally play Oblivion. Boom. I'm just gonna highlight what Salmon said. Salmon, we are playing this game tonight, don't worry. I mean, this is the game. This is the game. This is the game. Alright, to the hiring manager of Twice, this is my studio, a 555 number. Dear hiring manager, I am thrilled to submit my application for the senior creature animator position at Bethesda Game Studios. With 3 years of AAA animation experience and a lifelong passion for the Elder Scrolls series, I am uniquely motivated by the opportunity to push creature performance to new heights, and admittedly, to finally secure a legitimate copy of Oblivion. As a devoted fan since its release, I have analyzed every Daedric beast and scribbled frame-by-frame studies of Skyrim's predecessors. Joining your team would not only let me contribute my technical expertise to future worlds, but also allow me to legally explore Cyrodiil's rich ecosystems firsthand. At Studio Marrowforge, I led the creature animation team on a ton of echoes, developing over 50 bespoke animation cycles and quadrupeds, flying entities, and eldritch horrors. I engineered real-time animation state machines in Unreal Engine 5 and collaborated closely with AI and gameplay teams on procedural motion blending and championed reusable rigs. Oh yeah, this is perfect. That's way more than 300 words. Oh wait, did I say? Oh wait, no, that probably is. That probably is 300 words. Sincerely, Triste Creatures. Oh yeah, boy. All right, here we'll just we'll take the old copy paste once again. File, export. Dude, imagine I get a job out of this. I mean, like I would not be qualified at all, and I would be out of there in one day. But could you imagine? All right, now we're gonna take the file explorer here. Nova Evan, what's going on? Yeah, so if you guys are just joining us, we are playing Oblivion Remastered. Holy crap! This is all part of the first quest, the first scroll. This is the first scroll that I've encountered here. This scroll is known as the EULA, also known as the End License User Agreement. Now, to recap, if you are just joining us now, I will now embellish you in how we have gotten to this step. In this segment here, we have encountered, through the agreement of not being able to download it until we read it in its entirety, including the ZeniMax privacy policy that's available at Bethesda.net/document/privacy policy. So we went to that site and began reading that agreement. But there is a loophole that allows us to skip reading said terms of service privacy policy. We will not be succumbed to any of the privacy policy agreement if we are an eligible candidate or employee of Bethesda. Therefore, if we apply for a job, that means we don't have to read the rest of that, and we can get back to the main scroll. So we are currently on a side quest that was brought to us by ZeniMax, and therefore I am applying as a French animator because the job doesn't matter. It's simply that I need to apply for a job so that aspect of the agreement is null and void. Once it's null and void, we can continue to the next segment. I'm honestly, I'm really liking this game so far, because people are saying it's like really lore-centric, and you feel like it brings it to part of your life. And in this aspect of it, I actually feel like if I don't succumb to all of what Bethesda has brought onto me, my information will be harvested. So it's really immersive so far, and it's only the first scroll. So let's go ahead and continue here. We have our 2 documents that I have my file explorer. So what I need to do is take my untitled document, and I'm going to go ahead and rename this one to check me out. Check me out. I was going to put a smiley face there, but I think I can't do that. Let me see if I can put an emoji though. Can I put like a smile emoji? Oh, heck yeah. There we go. Yeah. Now, if that doesn't send him, if that doesn't send me straight to the front of the pile, I don't know what will. Let's go ahead and upload it from my computer. We're going to go to the Downloads tab, and we're going to use untitled document.pdf for my 3-page resume. Wait, what school did this say that I went to? Bachelor's of Animation for Games, the Mythos Institute of Interactive Arts in 2021. Is that real? What is the Mythos Institute of Interactive Arts? It sounds magical. Mythos Institute. Mythos Institute of Interactive Arts. What? This is real? The Mythos Interactive Arts at Micah. You will improvise, innovate, and experiment and play as you create unique interactive experiences across an array of traditional and emerging media. Wow. It's real. So, even my lore is bringing in its own segment. I am role-playing into its entirety here. This application is believable. More than good enough. Let's go ahead and upload untitled document.pdf, and we'll upload checkmeout.pdf. Beautiful. Portfolio link. Foxotic.tv. Create a login. We are required to create a login. Very well. I will dox myself. I am Chris. Why do you gotta know my last name, man? Why is it required? Okay, you know it. You know, you're in the secret club if you know it. Don't take advantage of it. I will kill you people. Let's see. Actually, yes, there we go. Here, tricecreatures@email.com. And then I would be, Trice Creature. Yeah, I could have just done that, but autofill docs me, but it's okay. Alright, we'll make this password, I guess I shouldn't say. There, perfect. This is way Salmon, what do you mean? This is way too much effort for a bit? Salmon, this is the game. Need I remind you again, excuse me. You are not permitted to download, install, use, or play this game if you do not read all of the terms of this agreement. Now remember, we need to apply for a job because it says in the privacy agreement on this statement here, it is not applicable to us if we are a candidate for a job. Therefore, I need to apply. That way we can skip this segment. I promise you, I'm trying to get to the meat of the content. You gotta understand, if you have seen, actually, let's see, if we go to, Oblivion Remastered, How Long to Beat. Let's see. It's about 713 hours, okay? So, in that aspect of it, we're gonna speed up some of that by clicking past this agreement. I can't do that until we sign up. We're almost there. We got our 555 number. Our home. Okay, I definitely can't. Dude. Oh my gosh. Autofill. I will kill you guys. Please don't. Please don't dox me. I will kill you. Oh my gosh. Why? No! Okay, hold on! Yeah, I'm gonna have to delete, like, all of this clip up to this point. That's a shame. Hold on, I need, like, a fun fantasy address. Give me a second. I need...
I need to I'm not clever enough to come up with something on the fly for this. All right. Give me a fun Oblivion-themed address I can use to apply for the job. There we are. Here we are. If you're just joining us, we are getting past the first scroll here. Here we go. 17 Oblivion Gateway, Gate District, Kvatch, Cyrodiil, Tamariel. Oh, this is perfect. See, here's the thing. I don't know anything about Oblivion because it's my first time, so I think this will be a quality nod. Dude, it's gonna keep autofilling me. Just give me a second. I don't want to type it in until like on stream. If you're just joining me, we're applying for a Bethesda position so that we don't have to read the privacy policy legally. City is let's see if it'll let me. I might need to type in Austin, Texas. No, I got to do Austin, Texas. Okay, what's an Austin, Texas zip? I have to do one because it says it's not correct. 78702. Okay, very well. How did you hear about us? Through a game. Yeah, I think we're good now. Oblivion Gateway. I heard about it through a game. Is there like a game? Other, please specify. I have to legally read the full and entire Oblivion Remastered agreement in order to play the game legally. After inspecting the Okay, I can't type anymore. Fine, submit! Alright, fingers crossed, everything gets through. Yes! Oh, wait, hold on, there's candidate questions now. We need to get through. Here's our first dialogue branch. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it says, these are required fields. This is our first NPC interaction here, so we need to make sure our dialogue options are correct or we're gonna have a problem. Have you ever been employed with ZeniMax? No, I have not. Are you 18 years of age or older? Yes. Are you authorized to work lawfully for our company in this country in which the job is located? Yes. Will you now or in the future require a visa sponsorship or employment with our company? No! I'm a U.S. citizen. We are required to compile the following information for statistical purposes in order to comply with certain federal regulations regarding the equal opportunity and affirmation. Yeah, no, we're good. I am male, and I prefer to opt out. Submit. Your application was submitted! We did it! Very good, very good. Okay, let me get an Oblivion victory sound effect. We actually completed our first mission, guys. Let's go. Can we get some hype in the chat? Let's freaking do it. We applied for the job. Oblivion victory sound effect. Like, there's like a... There's gotta be like a mission achieved. Yeah, success! Yes! My XP has increased substantially. Let's go! Alright. Welcome to Oblivion Remastered. This, I want you to note as well, this agreement that we are reading through today has been remastered as of June 2024 for this game. We have made it through the first quest. And now, we are at the segment of this terms of here that says if you not accepted the terms or you do not read it under or understood the ZeniMax media privacy policy, do not download. The reason why we applied for that job is for this direct sentence right here. We cannot play this game unless we agree to this policy, but that requires us to read the full and entire policy in order to have an ample understanding of it. However, if you apply for a job or you are a potential candidate for Bethesda or ZeniMax, that makes that full contract null and void and not applicable to you. Therefore, we have skipped a major portion of the first level. Therefore, we can continue. For ease of reference, the ZeniMax Terms of Service may be found at Bethesda Document Terms of Service. Oh, hang on a minute. Hang on.
You confirm that you've read the end-user license agreement as well as the terms of service. You further acknowledge and understand that ZeniMax will process your information in accordance to ZeniMax media privacy policy. Okay, so we've only null and voided the privacy policy. We're going to need to review the terms of service, which potentially will run into the same caveat, but we're going to need to find out. Unfortunately, we will need to go on another side quest here brought by ZeniMax. Let's see if we can take it on, head on. And I'm only playing on medium difficulty, by the way. Let's go ahead and do it. This is going to be Bethesda.net/terms of service. Terms of service. Very well. We will take this on. Now, let's go ahead and see if the word employ. Some services require creation. It could be mislead players to believe you're an employee of ZeniMax or affiliated with them. Do not reveal your account password to employees from any liability in connection with virtual world employees. Impersonating employees, ZeniMax employees will never ask you to reveal your password. Their respective employees and officers' liability. Oh! Unfortunately, Salmon says she's canceling the subscription to Foxotic Twitch out of spite. Salmon, do you not see that I am playing the game? I am playing the game. I am playing the game. This is... I don't know why everybody skips this first segment of the game. I think it's very lore-rich. There's a lot to learn here. It brings you into your own realm to the point of where you're going to get doxxed on stream. This is some next-level writing. This is what I live here for. Look at these flames. Listen to this music. It gives you this perfect thing to listen to as you're reading. Salmon, I know that you and everyone else here is enjoying this. Name one other stream from 0 viewers to freaking 1 million live concurrent viewers. Who else but Foxotic, twitch.tv/Foxotic, will read through the full and entire Elder Scroll. This is the Elder Scroll. I will twist like a pretzel, sponsored by Auntie Anne's. Get yourself a salted pretzel or a cinnamon delight pretzel at your local mall. Tell them Foxotic sent you for a free sample. They'll give you 1 pretzel bite for free with your choice of dipping sauce. But the promo's only till the end of the night. So drive fast, but safe. Very well. I believe that this contract here may not be null and void. It may be applicable to employees as well. I don't see anything about... We even have a virtual reality warning here. Let's go ahead and highlight this one here. We'll read this. This is important for me. I am in virtual reality as we speak. This is important. Let's full screen this. The virtual reality warning. If a game provides for virtual reality gameplay and or the use of third-party virtual reality headsets and or related equipment, certain health and safety precautions and disclaimers apply. Failing to review and adhere to the health and safety precautions set forth in these terms of service and the game's end-user license agreement, as we are reading through right now. As we're following and complying. The precautions given by the manufacturer of your virtual reality headset or related equipment may cause damage to your property, personal injury to you or others, or death. Or death! You will die here! Do you understand why this is important, Salmon? If I don't read this document, I could die! Rena Genmon, welcome in the stream. He says, we're reading the Elder Scrolls. Can we read the Lusty Argonian Maid next? I actually know about that. I haven't played Oblivion, but I've seen a lot of clips. If you can lead me to it, if we actually get to it tonight, I will read that. I think that's a pretty short story. It would probably be a breath of fresh air. Do you think we could get to that segment in the game, like, within the beginning?
I would like everyone to know for context as well, just to give you context of knowing who I am and how committed to something. When I say I'm going to do something, I will do it. And that is my work ethic. I do that for everything in life. I am a man of my word. When I say I am going to read, I will read. But I want you to know, in 9th grade, for example, I had an essay that I was not prepared for. I got to pick any kind of college-level book that I wanted, and I had to do an 8-minute speech. And I was so nervous that I would not have enough content to do what I wanted to do. And what I picked was the Walking Dead Woodbury, the one about Woodbury at the time. But the thing is, I got lazy and I didn't read it, so I just watched the show. And then I just wrote about the show. But what I did was I explained every single episode in the show as the story, and I talked about it well over the 8-minute period, and the period bell rang. And when the bell rang, I told the class, we'll pick this up next time. We'll pick up where we left off next time. And the teacher was like, what? So she pulled me aside. And said, listen, you are really good at speeches. I was thoroughly entertained. If you actually have more content, you are more than welcome to do it tomorrow, but I am giving you an A. I am giving you an A+. You do not need to do anything anymore. And so I, thinking, knowing me, you would think that I would be like, all right, yeah, I will actually pick it up tomorrow. But actually, I felt like a jerk because there were people that actually wanted to go, and I am very time blind. That 8 minutes, that 30 minutes period felt so short to me. I thought I had not enough content. So when the bell rung, I was like, what? So I sat down the next day and everyone's like, are you going to continue your speech? It was so good. And I'm like, what? You guys want to hear it? So we did a whole other period. It was 2 periods long. It was an hour long for an 8-minute essay. I got an A. I was like, all right, I'll do it. And then I learned, you know what? They weren't interested in my story. They realized, we can take advantage of Fox. If he just sits there at the podium and talks about the freaking Walking Dead for a whole period, I can work on my essay that I also didn't work on. And then I can get an A. It's panning for time. It works for everybody. So, I was an ally. I saved the day. Now, where were we? Something about death. I could die. I could die from this game. Let's take a look here and see if this is something that we want to agree to. For virtual reality warning, you could die. Where was the death? Something around here. Immediately stop playing. Wait, is this different? No, I don't think so. Where's the death? Where's the death part? Do you guys see it? Did I skip something? Oh, yeah, no, I did. I totally skipped a whole segment of this. Immediately stop playing if you feel unwell or experience any following symptoms. Epileptic seizures. Okay, haven't had any of those yet. We're good. Loss of consciousness. I mean, that's debatable, chat. I mean, am I even conscious at this point? I'm just going full autopilot. Where were we? Altered vision? I mean, my vision is altered, but I mean, it's altered through VR, but I think that's part of the package. You're supposed to be like that, so I think we're good. Motion sickness, we're good. Dizziness, I'm fine. As long as I stay hydrated, we should be alright. Disorientation or nausea and or repetitive motion injuries and eye strain. Always be aware of your surroundings when playing in virtual reality. Yeah, I'm aware. Okay, we're good. If you are pregnant, or if you have any pre-existing medical condition, you should talk with a physician to obtain professional advice before playing any virtual reality game. All right, let me double check. Yeah, I think we're good. I think we're good on that front.
Carefully read and follow all health and safety precautions from your virtual reality headset before use. Okay, luckily, guys, I have read that full and entire contract, so we don't need to go to the Meta website. We're good on that front. To the maximum extent permitted by applicable law and subject to statutory obligations as defined in Section 1, in no event shall ZeniMax be liable for any damage to property, injury, or death, or for direct, indirect, punitive, incidental, or consequential damages arising out of the use or misuse of virtual reality game or any virtual reality headset or related equipment, including without limitation, arising out of or connected with interactions between you and other people or objects in or around the play area during gameplay. You hereby release ZeniMax and its affiliates and their respective officers, directors, and employees from any and all liability in connection with the use of a virtual reality headset, related equipment, or services. Do you understand how important this is, chat? If I didn't read this, I would be suing them if I died. You have to understand, this segment here says in bold, if I somehow die while playing Oblivion with a virtual reality headset on, they're completely waived of that. Simply just from me wearing virtual reality. This does not apply to people that play in 2D, but if I play Oblivion, they are telling me that my rights of living are waived and void. I could die, and nobody would be held accountable except for me. This is important information that people just glaze over. So I have to be able to be willing to accept the risk that if I wear this headset while playing Oblivion and I die, my family will have nothing brought to them. For mourning, for any funeral fees, anything like that, I'd be screwed, man. Welcome to the first segment of Oblivion. Reading through the Agreement Elder Scroll. Rena Genmon says, I came for lore and you deny us the connecting VR safety lore. Unbelievable! See, Rena Genmon understands it. There was a Skyrim VR. You have to understand. Oh, here we go. We got a chat. First time chatter from Maniacal Mouse. What's going on? He says, so die with VR? Skill issue. Wait, I recognize that name. Aren't you from work? Yo, what's going on? Who's Maniacal Mouse? Dude, wait, no, this is somebody from work. What's up? Oh, who is it? I don't remember. I remember seeing that name. Is it Brendan? What's up? Don't dox me. I mean, I can say a first name, right? I mean, if you're not comfortable with that, that's fine. Welcome in. This is important. If this game ever gets ported to VR, I mean, that'd be especially important, but in this case scenario where I am indeed in the virtual realm, my rights are completely waived. Alright, but this is just a highlight. We need to go back to Section 1. You know, that was one specific segment to me in virtual reality, which actually is in Section 1 here, with photosensitivity and virtual reality warnings. There are 22 sections in this terms of service here, and what I need to do is see if employment. Let's see. Let's try the word employment. Oh my gosh, guys! You should have told me, guys. Hang on a minute. Wait. Chicken jockey. Oh no, dude, it's okay. I know who it is. If you don't want me to say your name, that's okay. I got you. I know who you are. Welcome. Oh my gosh. Where else can you find content like this? All right, let's see here. Are we null and void as an employee, as a potential employee at a Bethesda? Because we did apply for the job. Other misuse of people around the object player during your gameplay here, ZeniMax affiliates. No. It releases our employees. Okay, how about like in Section 1? Players to believe you're an employee of ZeniMax. Yeah, I think we're cooked on this one, guys. I think we have to read this one. I think this one actually does apply to us as a user, even if we potentially could work for Bethesda. Very well. I will accept this quest. ZeniMax offers a range of products and services on PC, Mac, and consoles and mobile devices, including but not limited to the following. Section 1. Games and other products and services that you download, install, or play online as a service, sometimes referred to. We'll get the animated fire in the background for your convenience here. We are observing the first Elder Scroll, known as the EULA, and this is a subsection of it that is required by law to read. There are 21 chapters of this subsection, and I am praying that this is the only thing that we have to read in its entirety. I'm getting a little winded. I am getting a little winded, and I might need to get some water or something. But we gotta chug through it. Together, we will be the most informed viewers on Twitch. Play online services, including but not limited to ZeniMax computer, mobile and or console entertainment games, collectively known as games, and the access of content defined by Section 2, including but not limited to the digital goods, such as wallpaper and character outfits and game consumables, game mods, downloadable content as defined below, and digital items, software, including but not limited to third-party software, small amounts of code that might be necessary to facilitate playing online games that are provided by ZeniMax as a service, offering collectively software and related services such as membership programs that include special benefits for members, downloading and uploading media, forums, and additional features, together with content, games, and software collectively referred to as services. For the purposes of these terms of service, references to a game include, unless the context requires otherwise. Now, this is important. There could be additional context that otherwise substitutes for what is known as a game. And this is a huge thing that I want you to understand, chat. What is a game? Because this is what was presented to us in this game. Who's to say that this is not the first prequel chapter that will inevitably delve us into this journey of Elder Scrolls? We must read through it in order to legally be bound by it, as it is required by law. Salmon says, how has he done this for an hour now? How the frick did I sit through this? And then Maniacal Mouse says, I don't know, you tell us. The music. Listen to the music in the background. It's so epic. Now listen carefully. Now I will define to you what a game is. This is not the first time I've done this, by the way. There is another game that requires you to scroll all the way down. You need to understand this. First of all, can we back up for a second? Then I promise I will get through this as fast as possible. You need to understand, this is part of the gameplay. I cannot hit accept. You hear that? I cannot hit accept until I agree to the full and entire document. That means I am required through the interactivity of this game that I must click accept in order to become part of the Elder Scrolls. This is an Elder Scroll. Now, there was another game like that, known as Crash Team Racing, remastered by Toys for Bob. And they required me to do the exact same thing. And I did and have read through the entire agreement of Crash Team Racing live on stream. It's not every game. It's not every game that requires you to scroll through it, because there is a clause when you do not scroll through it. The game is saying that you can be inferred at a later time to read it when legally necessary. That's a point that I learned in Crash Team Racing when I read it, is that anytime that they prompt you to skip reading it, technically you're acknowledging that you agree it, but it's at the context of if you run into legal liability. Now, in this case, you don't have that option. I have to scroll through this whole thing before I'm allowed to hit accept. This game is playing hardball, okay? You cannot conveniently click I agree. And therefore, we will become the most legal citizen of Skyrim, or whatever. Got what, Cyrodiil? Is it Cyrodiil in Oblivion? We're gonna be the most like vanilla, tame, kind player, because we are legally bound. We are like, what's that chart called when it's like neutral, like lawful neutral, like what's like the lawful, like the most lawful corner, like that corner? That's the character that we're playing as. And then in the next run of this game, I will play as the most evil character that will not read a single lick of the agreement. But in this, I am role-playing as a goody two-shoes who must adhere to all policies that are presented before him in writing. Or I could be paying with my blood. Yo, what the? That's not true, Finn. Why are you specifically saying that? Why are you specifically saying that? And then Samantha with the baby rage emote. I'm dead. Okay, what is a game? Content that is accessible or used or available in the game or is applicable to the game and the software that facilitates the playing of the game. You must provide your own expense, the PC, the Mac, the console, the mobile device, and other equipment, internet connections, and wireless service plans to access, receive, play, and use services. ZeniMax does not warrant, represent, or guarantee that a service will be accessible or usable on all equipment or wireless or internet service plans. Very important, chat. And this is why we read through these things, because these are extremely important benefits that you may or may not be aware of. So, if you are somehow able to get a copy of Oblivion, whether it's through a CD or a digital copy, ZeniMax reserves the right to grant you the equipment you need to play it. They have no obligation to do that, and they need to put it in writing so that you can't sue them by saying, I bought this CD and it doesn't, I don't see anything like popping up, like it's not some magical book that just lets me play the game. You're actually required to use all of this equipment that's listed in here that includes either a PC, some kind of console, some kind of internet to actually download the content to your console, and the internet itself for any multiplayer services. They're not going to provide that for you. So in case you're not aware and you're thinking about getting this game, just be aware that there are other expenses that are involved. You're going to need either a console or a PC. You're going to be paying monthly for internet. I mean, you're looking at, realistically, if you think of it from like an outside perspective, to play Oblivion outside of the $40 price tag, you're also going to need some kind of screen. You're going to need a screen. Those are, at the cheapest, they're going to run you about $50. Like if you want like a 480p screen from like 2001, you can probably get it for about $50 or less. Maybe if you're lucky on Facebook, you can get one for free. If there's anyone in the chat that doesn't have a screen that they can play, we'll go ahead and go on Facebook Marketplace for you really quick, and we'll see if there's any options for you. We'll get that sent over to your house, free of charge, if they're free. Like if someone's like getting rid of it and they're willing to mail it to you or something like that, we'll get that taken care of for you. The second segment is you're going to need some kind of PC or console, but it do be noted that it does not guarantee that the game can and will run. So you could be investing hundreds of thousands of dollars that do not allow for this game to run. You need to understand that the equipment that you run should have some kind of benchmark before you buy it. Typically, the Oblivion series here is going to be running either on an Xbox Series S, a PS5, or some kind of beefcake PC. Currently, I'm running a 4070 Ti while in VR, and I have internet to do that, and I have a screen to be able to read the contract and play this game. So far, we're good. But just be aware you will probably need those things as well. Now, the benefit is if you don't have most of those things, you could just have some kind of internet service or a mobile phone, and then you could just watch twitch.tv/Foxotic and get the experience through a live stream in its full and entirety. I am the only streamer that is playing this at 100%, the true 100%. Here, let's see what Rengenmon says here. What is a game? Tosses goblet, which breaks. A miserable little pile of secrets. But enough talk. How about you? Here we go. Maniacal saying Fox asking the big questions. We need to make sure everybody's accountable and aware, because I am doing a service for the public. How else will you know what you're getting into? Now, where were we? We have learned what a game is. We have learned that they do not warrant allowing, granting you free equipment. Now, I'm sure there's some loopholes in that. Say, if you do become an employee of Bethesda or ZeniMax Studio, say, for example, if you become a game tester, you probably could be granted this equipment. So, if you're looking to get on the inside without spending thousands of dollars to play this game beforehand, try applying for Bethesda and see if you can be like a game tester or something. Then you could probably play the game with the equipment provided. And that's probably in their own contracts, but that's not applicable to what we're doing yet. I mean, we did apply, but in the meantime, I'm already good with my own equipment, so we can move on. Certain services may require the creation of an account.
Fox.
And a follow. It may also require a follow. Thank you, Mr. Mouse, for following. That's my animated fox. Certain services may require the creation of accounts. To create an account, you must have a valid email address and be eligible to use the service for which you are registering. Basically, that means you need to be able to have access to your email and legally be able to do so as well. So make sure when you're signing up for an email that you read through the full and entire agreement of that email to make sure that it aligns with your beliefs and your privacy and the use cases of it. Once you've agreed and signed up with that email, you can use that email to create an account to the Bethesda website, if and when needed. So far, we don't need to do that, so I don't think we need to read that agreement for actually making an account yet. And it actually may, if we're lucky, it'll actually merge the agreements together. It could be like a 2-in-1 combo to where it's the same agreement. We'll see where it goes. You must provide truthful and accurate information and update such information to keep it true, accurate, current, and complete. So we're required by law through this agreement. You cannot simply have an email, but you need to understand that the email needs to be with your accurate information that represents you to the fullest extent as of today. So if your name is XX Gamer Club Penguin 69, you better be playing Club Penguin. You better still have an Xbox 360 subscription, or they're going to be hitting you with the books. During the registration process, you may be required to create a password. ZeniMax has the right to restrict, suspend, or terminate your account and refuse any and all current or future access to our receipt, purchase, play, or use of service. And ZeniMax reasonably believes that such information is untrue, inaccurate, not current, or incomplete. Do you see the integral? This is integral. How else would you know this, chat? I am telling you right here, on this stream, you could have your rights for playing Oblivion forfeited at any time if your Oblivion account is not up to date. If any of your information is wrong on your Bethesda.com account, your email, or anything in between, ZeniMax could come in at any time and hammer down your account and burn it into an eternal flame until you've updated it. But at that point, your whole account will be terminated, and you will have to make a new one. How else? How else would you know? Unless you read the agreement. I'm willing to take that risk. I believe that my information is correct to the point where I got doxxed on stream, so I think we're good. Some services may require creation of a username, such as a user ID, a display name, a character name, or a guild name. We may be required to create a guild and name it. Very fancy. To represent you in the services of which you are tied to your account collectively. Your username, you may not select the name of another person. Any third-party trademark, copyright, or intellectual property. Any name that could be mislead other players to believe that you are an employee of ZeniMax or are affiliated companies, or any name that ZeniMax deems in its sole discretion to be vulgar, offensive, or otherwise violates the terms of service. Subject to the statutory obligations as defined below, ZeniMax reserves the right, in its sole discretion, to delete or alter any usernames tied to an account that is, in Section B, restrict, suspend, or terminate your access to play or use any services or licenses granted to you for any reason whatsoever, including without limitation, any suspected or actual infringement of any trademark or trade name right, copyright, or intellectual proprietary right. More important information here. If your name is Ronald McDonald 69, they will terminate your account. You cannot have any representation of any kind of intellectual property. It's mostly going to be targeted towards Bethesda and ZeniMax related properties, and you don't want to be imposing yourself as a staff member. But what's important is that you cannot name yourself Dragonborn 86, because that is a trademark name, and at their discretion, if someone reported that name, they could take that name from you. They would take it and strip it, and you could become user 482613. Is that really what you want? But that's only if they're feeling generous. Now, if the people at ZeniMax are having quite a terrible day, maybe they've had the lowest blow in stocks of all time, maybe someone stepped on their toe, maybe someone poured a hot coffee on the legal team's face, your account will be burned with such a name. So be forewarned. If you become a member of ZeniMax, or if you begin this journey of Oblivion, the name that you choose does matter. Very well, I will agree. I believe Foxotic is a appropriate name. As a matter of fact, Foxotic is a trademark that is belonging to me, so there's nothing they can do about it. By creating an account, you agree that you do not own the account. Any usernames created on the account, any content stored or associated with the account, such as digital or virtual assets, achievements, virtual currency, or other downloadable content, or related data. Okay, that is important. By creating an account, you agree that you do not own the account. Any usernames created on the account. It says that I don't own the username, so I actually can't name it Foxotic. If I do this, this could terminate my usage of it. They could come after me and ban me for this because I legally own Foxotic as a trademark. So if I use Foxotic as a trademark on their agreement, they could literally strip me away from my usage of Oblivion. See, and if I didn't read this agreement at any time, Bethesda could have came in my stream and said, hey, you made an account. You made an account on our services that's Foxotic, and you own that. And you cannot use usernames that are names that you own. You are banned. You are hereby banned from Cyrodiil. And you are never to play our games ever again. So now we know. Now we have learned. So I need you guys to take notes for me. Number one, first important note. If and when we need to create an account with Bethesda, I cannot name it Foxotic because I legally own that name. It needs to be something else. And maybe we'll come up with that. Maybe I will be user 24601, like Renagenmont said on Twitch. It's a solid name. I don't know if I remember that, and we might need something a little bit more iconic. But it needs to be something that isn't bound to me. I also don't own any digital content, virtual assets, or achievements within there. Those could be forfeited to me. That basically means that these things don't have any monetary value at all, and they could be forfeited along with my accounts. Accounts are non-transferable under all circumstances. You have the sole liability for all activities on your account and or under your usernames. You may be held liable for losses incurred by ZeniMax or other third parties due to someone else using your account, your username or password. Your account or certain features of your account may be restricted, suspended, and or terminated if someone else uses your account, username, and or password to engage in activity that violates the terms of service or is otherwise improper or illegal. You agree to promptly notify ZeniMax if you suspect or become aware of any unauthorized use of your account, username, passwords, or personal information, or any breach of your security. You reserve the right to request and will require you to alter your password if you believe that your password is no longer secure. Very well, and this segment is sponsored by Bitwarden.com. If you want to have the most secure passwords in account, in order to not have liability waged against you by ZeniMax Studios or Bethesda thereof, get yourself a password manager so that issue will never happen to you. Bitwarden is completely open source and free. And you can use it to generate usernames and passwords, so that you can use your passwords like a key. You take a key to the door and log yourself in. Now, it is very important to note, these are things that I wouldn't have known otherwise. See, if I make an account with this Bethesda studio here, and someone comes in and hacks my account and starts doing things on my behalf that are illegal, I could be sent right to the slammer. I could be doing hard time. So I need to know that my account is secure, and I can do that with the power of Bitwarden. Promo code Foxotic for 100% off this free app. I highly recommend it. It uses the new Cha-Cha 5 algorithm to keep yourself secure. Do not reveal your password to others. ZeniMax employees will not ask you to reveal your password. You provide your password only during automatic account services, such as during the login process, or if you initiate a forgot password request to obtain security information to receive a new password. These are the only times, so jot that down. You need to know the only time that you're going to be prompted for a password will be on the website when you go to log in, or if you forgot your password, it will then prompt you at that time. But anyone who comes to you and says, "Hello there, my good patron. I require your password in order for you to continue into playing our Oblivion services. Do you accept my quest?" You must kill that man on the spot. He's an imposter. Kill him! He must be slain. For anyone knows that's a Les Miserables reference? What, the user thing, really? Is it? What are you talking about? Or the agreement, or like the thing that I said. Did I accidentally reference Les Miserables? Because I've never seen that before. By the way, if you are just joining us and you're wondering what the heck is going on, well, you have entered the first portion of Oblivion, Elden Ring. That's not even the same thing. What am I talking about? We're playing Oblivion Elder Scrolls 4 Remastered. And this is the first segment of the game. We have been presented with what is known as the EULA. And we have been impeded on continuing until we completely agree on the full and entire contract. We are in Section 1 of 22. And I'm trying to go as quickly as possible, but I also want to interpret so that everyone in the chat understands what you're getting into. Some things to note. When you make an account with this Bethesda, you must be in full protection of it. People will try to take you over and live as you, but you are liable even if it wasn't you. If someone logs into your account, they have basically possessed your body like a ghost and are doing actions on your behalf. Is that a risk you're willing to take? That's for you to decide, but it's for me to inform you of. ZeniMax takes certain steps to protect against possible breaches of our services and the personal information we maintain about you. However, no online services, website, or internet transmission is completely secure. Thus, ZeniMax cannot and does not guarantee that unauthorized access, hacking, data loss, or other breaches will never occur, and we strongly encourage you to proactively take responsibility for your security of your personal information, user credentials, and accounts by selecting a highly secure and unique password, maintaining its confidentiality, and periodically updating it, consistently logging out of your account, and closing the application upon concluding of use with your services, and leveraging multi-factor authentication when made available by ZeniMax. Okay, we've been prompted with something that's going to be a potential quest coming forward. When we generate our password key, we will be also prompted potentially for a second-generation password, and we must remember, because we could be infiltrated by foreign bodies if we do not log out. We need to completely sign out of Oblivion, make sure our account at the top right, known as Foxotic TV on my Xbox account here, if we're using this service, they cannot guarantee that it will be completely secure if I don't completely log out of the Xbox services after I'm done. Had I not known that, I could have been in the mouse hole. We're getting important information here.
Section 12 of these terms of service include provisions that may affect your ability to collect damages from ZeniMax, and you have to dispute with ZeniMax, and you live in jurisdiction where provisions excluding or limiting liability are enforceable. That basically means you need to be within a region of the United States to where you can and will sue and or be sued. If you live in the EEA, the EA, what the heck is the EA? The only time I've ever heard of that was in a Nelly song. Underlay, underlay, mama, EA, EA. What the heck is EEA? Does anyone know what the EEA country is? The UK, Switzerland, Russia, Australia, New Zealand, Turkey, Japan, or Brazil? ZeniMax acknowledges that there are certain guarantees, warranties, terms, and conditions, including without limitation in respect to refunds and returns. Interesting. So this is important for our. I know we have at least one viewer in the EU right now, which is fantastic. Basically, if you feel like you've been scammed from playing Oblivion and you hate it, you're actually legally liable to get a full and entire refund. That is something. But unfortunately in the United States, that's only applicable to the other policies, such as a 2-hour trial. Luckily for us, we're doing Game Pass, so we can skip this part because it's not applicable to the United States. In the terms of service, the supplemental terms in any EULA excludes, restricts, or modifies the statutory obligations otherwise and according to such laws. Under the statutory obligations, ZeniMax is under a legal duty to supply you goods, services, and digital content that are in conformity with our contract with you, and to do so using reasonable skill and care. You need to not be a scrub when using any service brought to you by ZeniMax Studios. You must do it with reasonable skill and be careful. It is their duty to supply you this good. Therefore, if you are going through this contract and you've not purchased it or used it through any kind of Game Pass or anything like that, if somehow you have made some kind of contractual obligation to buy Oblivion through a certified party and you somehow don't get the game, they are legally obligated to provide you with that service. If somehow you don't get it, you can write to them and get it. They will get it taken care of for you, but you must handle it with skill and care. So keep that noted. If somehow that you I don't know, you send like a pigeon to Bethesda Studios with like $40 cash, and they write back to you that confirms that yes, we will give you a copy of the game, but it's somehow you don't get the game in that correspondence, you can sue them for that. That's what that's saying. If they say you can have, like, if you make some kind of agreement that you have the game, but you don't have the game, you can sue them, as stated in this segment. By the way, I'm not a lawyer. This is how I interpreted it. It may be incorrect, but this is my interpretation of it. Okay, photosensitivity warning. A small percentage of individuals may experience epileptic seizures and blackouts when exposed to certain visual images, including without limitation light patterns and flash from lights. Exposure to certain patterns and backgrounds on a computer, television, or other screen, or while playing video games may induce epileptic seizures or blackouts in these individuals. These conditions may induce previously undetected epileptic symptoms, blackouts, and seizures in persons who have no history of prior seizures or epilepsy. Now, that's concerning because I don't think I have ever had any kind of episode or anything like that, but this game is actually warranting that this could happen to me when playing Oblivion. Now, I have seen this disclosure before in other games, but this one is no exception. So you need to know, chat, don't think that you're safe just because you've lived, 30 years of your life to not have any kind of episode. This could be the one. Just be careful. Handle it with skill and care. If you or anyone in your family or your household have had an epileptic condition, have any seizures of any kind or any symptoms, consult a doctor prior to using the services or playing any game. If you experience any of the following symptoms, immediately discontinue or consult your physician. Dizziness, altered vision, eye or muscle twitches, jerking or shaking of the arms and legs, loss of awareness, disorientation, confusion, and involuntary movement or convulsions. Okay, so far, chat, this is the highlight one. Is anyone experiencing confusion so far? Are we pretty clear on this agreement?
You may need to consult your doctor at this point of watching the stream if there is any confusion. That is one of the symptoms. So I'm just looking out for chat and make sure we're good. Can we get a seems good in the chat? Like, are we good or like, are you guys confused? I'll wait. I'm going to be a good patron and make sure we're good. I need at least one seems good in the chat if we understand the agreement so far. Because if anyone's confused, it may be your time to consult your doctor before we continue the rest of the stream. Rena Genmon says he's good. Salmon is surprised that I would wait even longer. I'm looking out for the people, Salmon. This stream is not about just me. I need to make sure that nobody is confused. So far, everybody's good, and I actually appreciate your honesty, chat. Thank you. Very well. I want you to know as well, chat, the reason why I'm doing this in part is because I am fueled up by G Fuel, and that stuff will make me freaking go batshit. But it is important to read every agreement. If you haven't seen the South Park episode of the Human Sentai Pad, ever since I saw that, I knew that it's important to read these things. I don't want to become a Human Sentai Pad. I could have clicked I agree. You know, we could go through this whole thing, and at one little sliver of this sentence that says, you agree at any time Bethesda could break down your doors and voluntarily you agree that they could sever one of your limbs and use it as a weapon against yourself. I'm not saying that, and I'm not disclosing, like, for legal disclaimer, I'm not saying that Bethesda would do that. I'm simply giving an example. But we don't know that unless we read it. Now, we've already read the virtual reality section for the most part, except this part here. Any utilization, replication, alteration, or dissemination of our services, accompanying through, not confined to, games, content, software, or any intellectual property without the explicit authorization, either under these terms of service, through written consent or authorized representatives of ZeniMax is strictly forbidden. Not all features, products, or services offered are available to all persons who try to register or geographic locations. ZeniMax reserves the right to limit, in its sole discretion, the provision and quantity of any feature within any person or geographic area. So depending on where you live and where you're at, if you don't agree to this, you are all under Oblivion's flame. You need to know, if you don't click I agree, it says right here in black and white, they could strip you of your services. They don't have to give you anything if you don't read this. Any offer or any feature, product, or services is void when such services are prohibited. You're solely responsible for your compliance with the applicable laws with respect to the service that you access, purchase, receive, and play and use. So how do I know that I'm not going to slip up and do something accidental that would cause me to breach this agreement if I don't read it? Everything could be gone in an instant. Section 2. Welcome to Section 2. We've made it to our next chapter in Oblivion. We've done it. I think this calls for a celebratory sound effect. We made it to Section 2. And we've not even gotten past the first section of the scroll yet. Evan, I hope you're enjoying this content so far. I appreciate you. We are doing the full and entire playthrough of the Oblivion remastered game so far. And yeah, honestly, I'm thoroughly enjoying it so far. Oh my goodness. I think I do need to get some water though. Because, yeah, I have just been reading for an hour and 37 minutes. Let me go ahead and unplug myself. I'll take you with me if I can. Let's see if we can do the old follow cam. Here, hold on. I think this will work. Let's go get some water together in my virtual home. No, I will not be drinking virtual water. Believe it or not, I do need sustenance. But yeah, I don't know. Let's see what happens. Here, give my hands. Let's see. Focus. Behavior. Look at me. There we are. Yes. All right. Now I need to unbound myself so that my legs will follow me. Yes. Okay. Step 1. Do we have water in the office? The answer is going to likely be a no. I do have I have a drop of like 2-year-old San Pellegrino that I forgot was in my fridge, and it's completely flat. Now, I'm not that desperate. I could just go for a regular water. We'll save that for another occasion. I'm not going to pour that out yet. I also have some tap water that I use for my, what's it called? Essential oil diffuser, but I'm not going to drink that. That tastes like metal. I do have a bottle here. It feels pretty heavy. I think there is some water in here. Perfect. Okay, we don't have to go too far. I was able to find some water. I mean, this is a really immersive game so far. I mean, it's to the point where your thirst levels are actually integrated in the game themselves. As you're reading the agreement, I mean, although it's not required by law to read it out loud, if you end up doing that, your stamina will be in sync with what the game wants you to believe. As you progress through the game, you're going to need to recover through the checkpoints. So we're basically from chapter 2, we're essentially at the next hub. And that's usually where, like, when you're playing a game, you heal and recover, and we're doing so by having some water. All right, section 2. Content, user-generated content, downloadable content, game mods, and virtual items on linked accounts. This section shall survive any termination of these terms of service. A content, you know what I just thought of too, Maniacal Mouse? I feel like I told you about that Crash Team Racing stream, and now you're seeing it live. You didn't believe me. I know that you didn't. You're like, dude, there's no way. There's no way that this guy sat through the full agreement. And I will say, and it was to my own risk. You know, luckily I didn't run into any legal trouble or anything, but when I did the Crash Team Racing stream, there were links that they had me reference to, but I skipped them. But I was taking a big risk, and this time it's just I'm not taking that risk. I'm worried. I mean, this is a big company. I mean, Toys for Bob was basically an independent studio. This is a big company. If something happens to me, I couldn't afford it. You know what I'm saying? All right. Content includes technology, text, forum posts, chat posts, profiles, widgets, messages, links, emails, music, sound, graphics, animation style videos, content, pictures, code, files, data, characters, inclusive of associated items and attributes, and all audio, visual, and other material appearing on or emanating to and or from the services, as well as the design and appearance of any website under ZeniMax control. So basically anything that's referred to content is everything that is visually available on the screen to me that includes the text itself. This is considered content. So if anybody in this stream, anybody comes in the stream and tells me, Fox, what you're doing right now is not content, this part right here says otherwise. This is literally content by legal definition. I am making content. Except as necessary to use the services in compliance with these terms of service, you may not copy, use, or download any content from a service unless you're expressly authorized to do so by ZeniMax in writing. Oh, crap. Dude, wait, what? Okay, so this is illegal. This thumbnail that I used, I can't use it. I gotta erase it. Hold on. Hold on a second. Okay, I agree. I will agree to that. Okay, so it says, except as necessary to use the service in compliance with terms of service, you cannot copy or use any content or service unless you're expressly authorized to do so by ZeniMax in writing. Okay, I haven't done that yet, so we need to open up Affinity Photo right now. Dude, I can't use that. Hold on. We got to make an update here, because if we want to play this game, we need to make sure that we are in compliance. See, there's so many people doing... I've seen exactly this on YouTube. They're going to get forfeited, man. There we go. We got our layer here, and here's what I'm going to do. We're going to just get rid of this. And yeah, that's good. That's all I have time for. We'll call this Oblivion 1, legally abided.png. There we are. There. Okay, we've updated the thumbnail now to be legally compliant. Because I am not allowed to use any graphics that are promoted in the content at all, by any means necessary. That is not allowed. I could have gotten hot water for that. But luckily, I haven't hit I agree yet, so I'm allowed to. I was allowed to use it up until this point. There we are. The title card has been upgraded. I can't use that in my own graphics. There we are. Elliot, the creator on YouTube, says hello, welcome. If you're just joining us, we're playing the Elden Ring. Why do I keep saying that, dude? This is not Elden Ring. This is Oblivion. This is Oblivion. Now it's just a very angry proto, says Salmon. Yeah, he's just very angry in the thumbnail, and there's no context. Yeah, so basically we have another task here. Number one, from the Elder Scroll has written onto us. The first thing is, I cannot use any content or graphics associated with ZeniMax by any category at all. So I can't use it. I can't use it in any of my content without the express written consent of ZeniMax. So that means, chat, if you're taking notes, firstly, when we make our Bethesda account, I cannot name it Foxotic because legally I own that name, and I am not allowed to use any kind of content that I own or is owned by Bethesda or ZeniMax Studios. Secondly, I can't use any of the content for my thumbnail. I can't use any of the content for my thumbnail without a consent. So I need to write an email to ZeniMax or reach out to them on Twitter or something and ask them, hey, is it cool if I use your thumbnail for my thumbnail with some alterations? Now, that could fall under fair use. I haven't read up to date like what the fair use policies are in the United States by having my character on top of it and putting some text over it, but I feel like that's not going to do well in court. So it's probably better to have a express written consent from ZeniMax. All right, very well. Except as necessary. You acknowledge and agree that you should not reproduce, prepare derivative works based upon, distribute, or publicly perform or transmit any content for commercial use unless you obtain the express written consent of an authorized representative of ZeniMax. For clarification purposes, derivative works based upon services and/or content are works that are substantially similar, both in ideas and expression, to services and/or content. Therefore, if you or someone else creates work and is likely to bring to mind either or both services, such as a game and/or content, that is likely that such work is derivative work and as such may not be used for commercial purposes. Exactly. The stream is monetized. Whoa! Whoa! Back up. Back up. Hold on. I gotta lock my movement, chat. Hang on. How do I do that again? I got it. Wait, I got it. It's because I'm walking around. So, if I didn't change this thumbnail, I could have had my whole channel terminated. I'm glad we are reading this Elder Scroll. Okay. User-generated content. Content includes user-generated content you contribute, provide, post, upload, or otherwise submit to ZeniMax with via service, like user-generated content, provided that the term UGC does not include game mods, as defined below. UGC includes photographs, images, videos, music, and sounds, and other data that you contribute, provide, post, and upload, or otherwise submit to ZeniMax via a service collectively. UGC includes content contributed, provided, posted, uploaded, and otherwise submitted to ZeniMax by any other person using the service. UGC also includes content that is not your UGC, but not limited to account persona,
usernames, forum posts, chat posts, customer service chats, communications or other suggestions, ideas, notes, feedback, concepts, or other information concerning the services, whether generated at ZeniMax specific request or despite ZeniMax request that you do not do so, such as on unsolicited materials and described in section 16. Collectively, ZeniMax owned UGC. ZeniMax owned UGC also includes all content, other than game mods as defined below, that you create or develop using content provided by and made available by ZeniMax, including but not limited to content that you create or develop that is the derivative work of the content provided or made available by ZeniMax content, and materials that are created, developed, or accessible within a game or service using content or tools provided by ZeniMax. Okay, so that's a really verbose way of saying basically this section is talking about user-generated content that you've made that is in relation to ZeniMax or any kinds of games like Oblivion. It's basically, we haven't even been told what rights we have with that content yet. It's just saying that we're referring specifically to this content first and foremost, and then we'll talk about mods later. And it's highlighting that the mods that you do make, the content that you provide for the game, you do actually own that. They don't forfeit the rights onto you. So if you decide that you would like to create a Shrek mod for Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered, if you own the rights to Shrek, I mean, as long as you have the legal jurisdiction to do so, like say it's an official partnership with DreamWorks and you have ownership of Shrek, then you can do that. But also, if you have your own kind of persona and you want to put your own mod of like your character in the game, they don't take that away from you. No, it does. I mean, without saying, I mean, if you want to have Shrek as a mod in this game, I mean, you can reach out to DreamWorks to get their express written consent as well, and maybe you could have them commission you to do exactly that. But yeah, that's foreboding that you have spoken with them, and that's a completely different agreement that we don't need to get into today. So we can just continue. It's basically saying, get ready. We're going to talk about content that it relates to things that we have made, and that may re-grant our access to be able to use that background, the backdrop, and the thumbnail as we continue to read. But so far, we cannot use it. Unless there's some kind of exception here. Let's see. ZeniMax owned UGC does not include any content that you create or develop, such as content or the creation of development or content that would constitute a breach of this agreement or supplemental terms, or would be a violation of any law, or content that creates or develop without the use of content provided or made available by ZeniMax or any game mods, as defined below. So again, we want to try not to violate the law. I'm going to end up paying with my blood. ZeniMax does not pre-screen UGC and does not endorse or approve any UGC that you or other users may contribute, provide, post, upload, or otherwise submit via the services. You bear full and exclusive responsibility for your UGC, and you may be held legally accountable for any UGC that you contribute, provide, post, or upload, or otherwise submit. This is saying that just because it didn't happen today doesn't mean they're not going to come down with the hammer on you. Expect to see the CJ from Toontown to be coming at your doorstep, because he's coming. It might not be today, but there's going to be a day that you see a man that is blind from anything but the law. He is unbiased, but he will sheath his blade. This is why you must read the terms of service, or you will be killed. You will be killed. I am warning you, chat. If you get yourself involved with this game, and especially if you're a content creator and making user-generated content such as streams or any other kind of content that's been listed above, they can and will come after you, and there will be legal consequences. So you must be careful and tread lightly. You understand? Do you understand so far, chat? Do you understand?
And then Bernie says, and maybe you'll install a Shrek mod without asking DreamWorks for personal use. You know, that's a good point. So far, the agreement says that you can't do that for commercial use. So as long as you're not selling Shrek, and you're not the person that's distributing it, that may be a loophole to where, like, you know, the person who made that mod is going to be in trouble, but you owning the Shrek mod and installing Shrek onto your Oblivion game, that's not going to leave you legally liable. So yes, Bernie, that's a great question. If you already have the Shrek mod, according to this agreement so far, you are taken care of. Here we are. I used to be an Oblivion gamer like you, until I took a lawsuit to the knee. Yes. Let's go. Glad you guys are enjoying the content. We're making it here. This is what's going to send us through the roof. You may not contribute, provide, post, upload, or otherwise submit any UGC content that is copyrighted, protected by trademark or trade secret law, or otherwise subject to third-party intellectual property rights, aka Shrek. You cannot. They do not endorse you making Shrek mods for this game. It needs to be your own property, with your own rights to be able to do so. Bernie says, let the dream work with some teamwork. Yeah, I mean, I agree, Bernie. I think it would be a great collab if they actually had, like, a legally binding Shrek. I think that would be good. I mean, with the release of Shrek 5 coming out in 2026, it would be a perfect time. I think this game is known for two things. 1, Shrek. 2, Thomas the Tank Engine as the Dragons. If we get that officially endorsed by the companies that make that, I think it would be the biggest hit of all time, if it isn't already. I think they would make billions. Think about the collab. The Shrek audience is this big. The Oblivion audience is this big. If you put them together, that's like forming a whole country of people. Alright, let's see where we are. Unless you own the rights free and clear or have written permission from their rightful owner to contribute, provide, post, and upload or otherwise submit to such UGC and grant or assign described license and property rights to ZeniMax as described below. As between you and ZeniMax, you will be the owner of all your UGC, as defined above. To the fullest extent permitted by law, and you hereby expressly grant or warrant that you, the owner of your UGC, have expressly granted to ZeniMax and its licensors, licensees, designees, perpetuable and irrevocable worldwide, paid up, non-exclusive, royalty-free, transferable, sub-licensable through multiple tiers of sub-licensees, right and license to exercise all rights of any kind or nature associated with your UGC in all forms, formats, and media. Whether existing now or in the future, and to the extent permitted by applicable law, you agree not to assert or enforce any moral rights, similar rights you may have now or may hereafter be recognized, in all ancillary, and this is the first word that I don't understand. Hang on a minute, what the heck is ancillary? Let's go ahead and,
Ancillary.
Providing support to primary activities or operation of an organization. Oh, okay, very well. Makes sense. And subsidiary rights in languages now or not known or currently known. Bernie, you missed it. We actually applied for a French job in Montreal. Believe it or not, earlier in the stream, we were actually able to void out one of these agreements because it says that the agreement is not applicable to potential and current employees of Bethesda. So I actually applied to a animation job in Montreal for Bethesda, and we wrote a resume and a cover letter, so that way we didn't have to read that part of the agreement. So we actually skipped probably like 6 hours worth of reading in order to do that. So we are speedrunning it. We are like at world record pace right now. I don't think anyone even thought to do that before. So I'm sure if anyone out there has read this agreement and is doing it in the entirety, they probably didn't even think to do that. Unless otherwise prohibited by applicable law or regulation, by contributing, providing, or posting, uploading, or otherwise submitting ZeniMax owned UGC or creating ZeniMax owned UGC, you acknowledge and agree that all such ZeniMax owned UGC is the sole property of ZeniMax, and you hereby assign and agree to assign to ZeniMax all such ZeniMax owned UGC contributed, provided, posted, uploaded, or otherwise submitted to you, and such assignment will be effective on the date of ZeniMax owned UGC is created. Okay, hold on. I need a second to absorb that. It's the first thing that I need to make sure, because it just said that I own my UGC, but now it's saying that it's like certain things. ZeniMax owned UGC. You acknowledge and agree that... I guess it's saying, like, in the event that, like, UGC that you made in collaboration with them, or, like, something that is their property that, like, is not, like, a separate entity, as in, like, you know, the tools that are made for UGC, for example, or things that are, like, their technology, they own that. They're saying they have the discretion of owning that. Your content itself, they don't own, but, like, the things within it are still theirs. You're not entitled to it just because you made something for them. I'm pretty sure is what this is saying. You hereby expressly grant or you warrant that the owner of such ZeniMax owned UGC is expressly granted to ZeniMax and its licensor, licensee, designed as a professional or book for worldwide paid on non-exclusive royalty fee for transferable sub-licensable through multiple tiers of sub-licensees. Wait, did I already read this or... No. Okay. To exercise all rights of any kind and nature associated with such ZeniMax on UGC in all formats and media, whether existing now or in the future, in the extent permitted by applicable law, you agree not to assert or enforce any moral rights or similar rights you may have, now or hereafter be recognized, and all ancillary and subsidiary rights in any language now known or currently not known. All right, so in the future here, if there's anything that is pretty much copy-paste in just a different context, we can go ahead and use the skip text spell. I believe we've equipped that. We've acquired that as we've leveled up here. Basically, there will be some legal jargon that is... it has to be posted as a separate context because it's a different item that they're talking about, but it's in the same language. But they legally have to write the exact same thing again. In that case, we can skip it. We're already aware of what they're talking about. You further grant each user of the service's non-exclusive licenses to access the UGC, to use, reproduce, distribute, display, and perform such UGC as permitted through services, including to but not limited to service or game function. So basically it's saying, if you make any kind of content related to ZeniMax or Bethesda or anything like that, you give them the right to be able to distribute that. You cannot close source that in your own kind of thing. It has to be publicly available and able to be used by anyone, including people in the studio and publicly who are not involved. So be aware of that. If you're going to be making anything for it, it needs to be available at all times. If so, required under applicable law, you will enter into any agreement or undertake any action as deemed necessary by ZeniMax to affect the licenses described above in this section. In all cases of UGC under Section 2, except as prohibited by applicable law and subject to the statutory obligations as defined in Section 1, if you guys remember, we've already read through that, ZeniMax reserves the right, but has no obligation except as required by law to review, remove, block, edit, move, or disable UGC for any reason, with or without notice, and has no liability of any kind with respect to UGC, including without limitation, when ZeniMax determines that UGC violates the terms of service. So, whether or not it violates what you're doing. So, for example, if you're thinking, you know what, I would really like to make a Shrek mod for Oblivion, there's a chance that it could be taken down without any notice at all. They're not going to write you up and say, cease and desist. You cannot make Shrek. You don't own him. We don't endorse you have Shrek in here on our platform. Even if you have the rights to it, like say you have written to DreamWorks, you've gotten the express consent of them, you've gotten the paperwork signed, but you got to understand, I mean, if it gets to that point, I mean, there's two sides of it. I mean, for one thing, if you get to the point of where you're collaborating with DreamWorks to get that permission, ZeniMax and Bethesda will probably already be involved at that point. Like, they're probably going to call them and have their legal team do a bit of collaborating. There's going to be some money involved. There's going to be some kind of deal being made. So the likelihood of, if you actually have the right to put Shrek in the game, it's not going to get removed. But in the odd event that you explicitly talked with DreamWorks and somehow ZeniMax was not involved, or they didn't know that you were making a Shrek mod, like it officially endorsed Shrek mod with DreamWorks' permission, they can revoke that from you, and they can completely terminate and ban that, even if you haven't done that. Now, that doesn't mean that like it's going to be in perpetuity. It doesn't say anywhere in this agreement that is in perpetuity, but you're probably going to have to go through some legal loopholes, call their team up, go through a whole rigmarole of saying, dude, I got permission. I have been working with DreamWorks for 18 months on this project, and you guys just shut it down. And, you know, that could be like a one-day phone call. You're going to have to make appointments. So if you read this agreement, you'll see if you get that taken care of in advance, they're not going to block that kind of content because you've already gotten permission for it. They're just basically saying, keep us in the loop, or we're going to remove your content, and we don't have to inform you otherwise. Like we don't need to let you know that we're doing it. We're just going to do it. All right, section C of part 2 of 22. Downloadable content, achievements, and other virtual items. Content also includes content that is downloaded or downloadable from any website unauthorized by or under ZeniMax's control. Downloadable content, provided that the terms... How many calories do you think I burned so far, Chad? I need more water. I'm dying here. I'm dying. Dude, they weren't kidding when they said that this game is hard. People were saying, like, if you're new to the game, like, you need to be careful even playing on medium. And, like, I just set it to the normal difficulty. But yeah, dude, I'm honestly, like, I'm getting pretty exhausted. We're only on, like, section 2. Like, I don't know if they expect you... I don't know if they, like, expect you to, like, just take frequent breaks. There might be a section in that, like, in this agreement about, like, you know, they recommend that, but we've not seen that so far. But yeah, dude, this game's killing me, man. This is friggin' difficult. Miko Avartsty. Yo, where are you from? He's got the special O with the dots on his name. Where are you from, Miko? Are you from Iceland? I'm gonna guess Iceland. I like your name. Yes, no, we're playing Elder Scrolls. I almost said Elden Ring again. We're playing Elder Scrolls, and we're reading through the first scroll. I'm gonna backtrack here just for any new viewers coming in for a minute. So this is the first screen. The reason why we're doing this is all part of the gameplay. As you can see, this accept button down here. You can hear my clicking. I cannot click accept, and because I am forbade from playing this game until we read the full and entire agreement. We so far have read to this section here that is talking about the terms of service, and now we are reading the terms of service section. Now, if we're lucky, some of these sections can and already will be in part of this scroll, but this EULA scroll is our first mission. It's a very big subset of missions. We've gone through 2 side quests already, which also included applying for Bethesda to null us out of one of these contracts. So we're actually pretty far ahead here. We made our way to the privacy policy, and in this section here it says that this privacy policy does not apply to employees or potential employees. So we were actually able to avoid that by applying for a job. So we got past that part. This is the Elder License Scrolls. Yes, Bernie. The License Scroll. So we're at section C here. We're learning about downloadable content. Oh, Miko says he's from Finland. Oh, heck yeah. You know I gotta get a special video just for you. I don't know if this agreement applies to you, Miko, by the way, so your mileage may vary. So just keep that in mind. While we're reading this, I am reading the United States version. This might not apply to Finland.
Pacific?
Finland!
There we go. That's for you. Thanks for coming in, Miko. All right, let's see. We were about, right here. Downloadable content includes, but is not limited to, license, rights granted, awarded, and or provided to you, access and or use online or offline elements or features of certain services, as well as game updates, unlockable content, digital and or virtual assets, rights of use tied to unlock keys or codes, merchandise, redemption codes. Okay, so this is basically saying any way that you have access to our content, including the wallpapers, are all part of what they consider as downloadable content or other virtual items. They're referring to anything that you get on this website that you can, in legal terms, download, anything that brings you to this window. So, like, if you don't know, like, if you click in here, there's a tab called Downloads, which you can access through pressing Control-J on your keyboard. Anything that makes it pop up in that section is owned by Bethesda. So you need to be aware of that. This is basically just a preface to let you know what it is, and we're about to entail of what they want us to know about it. It's simply telling us what it is. We don't know what they're telling us, what they reserve yet. This is important. It's going to be a challenge. It includes virtual currency. Virtual currency is subject to additional terms and restrictions specific to virtual currency as set forth below in Section 2E. Okay, so keep this in mind. We don't need to read Section 2E until we start acquiring virtual currency, which could include the money that's in the game. So that's up to you, chat. Should we skip Section 2E? Or should we read it when the time comes? Because there could be a very high chance that we will come across virtual currency. Now, if we decide to skip Section 2E, if I acquire any currency, we will have to stop immediately. We'll have to stop immediately and read Section 2E. The second we acquire currency. Otherwise, we have to do a zero money run. We can play the game until we agree to Section 2E. Downloadable content may be free, redeemable, and or purchased, and to the extent permitted by applicable law. ZeniMax reserves the right to change the price of downloadable content at any time without notice. Downloadable content may only be held in the accounts or devices belonging to legal residents of countries where access to and receipt, play, and or use services under downloadable content are permitted, except as granted in a game's EULA. ZeniMax hereby grants you a limited, non-exclusive, personal, non-transferable license to use, view, and or display downloadable content that you have lawfully downloaded. Once you have redeemed downloadable content, the content is not returnable, exchangeable, or refundable for other content or for cash, or for goods or services unless approved by ZeniMax or required by applicable law, subject to the statutory obligations as defined in Section 1. And they give you an example, but I'm going to go ahead and give an example as well. So basically they're saying, if you get any kind of downloadable content, even a wallpaper, if you are like, you know what, I'm going to buy a wallpaper from them, like say maybe they sell some kind of magic wallpaper for $10. They have no right. They have no right to, or you have no right to keep that. They can revoke that from you with no refund. So just keep that in mind. If you're getting into the realm of Bethesda, that content is theirs, and they will take it from you at any time. Be careful. Tread lightly. Stardust in the chat says, I forgot you cross-streamed on YouTube. Yeah, now you're in the right spot. Yeah, you can pick the platform you like for your legal discretion. Alright, where are we? This content may expire upon the earlier of a closure of an account, the later of 180 days past the most recent account login, or by the end of your membership for applicable services such as membership not being renewed. Very good. Okay, so even though
any content that you get for Bethesda or ZeniMax is in their legal possession through online. You have access to obtaining it if you have a license for that within a 180-day period, so long as you stay signed in. So keep in mind, when you're buying anything, if you get any DLC for this game or you buy anything related to Bethesda, whether it's this content or something from Fallout, it is yours, legally. You can call the court system and tell them, I have my rights. I own this content and they are refusing me to have it. So say, for example, if Microsoft Game Pass shuts down or something like that and you don't have access to your service that you paid money for, you have a way to get to it through this legal document. You wouldn't have known that if you didn't read it. So if you wake up one day, Game Pass is gone, you don't have your Oblivion, you don't have your downloadable content, you don't have your $10 wallpaper, you can reach out to them. As long as you stay signed in at Bethesda.com, you own it. You agree that you have no ownership right or title or in any such downloadable content, including but not limited to. So again, just to clarify, as this is saying here, you don't own that. Like it's saying like physically you don't own that. So like for example, if you buy the DLC that would be coming out for this game or anything else related to Bethesda, it's not like literally yours. Like you can't just buy the DLC and be like, okay, well I bought it, so like I'll just make copies and sell it. Like no, they made that. You are being granted. You're being granted a license to have access to the content. This right here is saying you don't own that. So be aware of that. It's like saying like, well, you know, oh, I bought the game, so now I own Elder Scrolls. That's not how it works. There's a lot of money and agreements involved. If you want to do that, that is possible, but you're going to need probably a couple $1 million to actually own it. Buying a $40 game is not going to grant you that right, so just be aware of that. Digital content expiring if not logging in for 180 days is crazy. Yeah, I think it's a pretty gracious period. I mean, it's like basically like a half a year. So like, as long as you're signed in to the site. Now, here's something to note though. I mean, you do make up a good point though, Miko, because earlier in the agreement, in the cookie section, they do advise that you clear out your cookies for security purposes. So this means that you should probably be regularly active on Bethesda.com if you want to make sure that you legally have the right to access your content. If you do want to apply the highest security measures. That includes making a username that you don't own, generating some kind of password, using some kind of password manager, two-factor authentication, logging out every single time you're done reading and done using the services. Everything on top of that, you need to also remember to sign in. But I'm pretty sure in order to play this game, you do have to sign in every time. So I think as long as you're playing the game, you should be fine. So at your convenience, the developers have already thought ahead of this legal thing here. Believe it or not, there is design. There is design by this. This is made by a person who has made things easier for you so that you don't have to go through a bunch of legal rigmarole. So this is included, the game itself is included as a legal service. So that doesn't technically mean that you need to be on Bethesda.com. It simply means as long as you're playing Bethesda content, the game will be accessible to you in some form within a 100-day period. So keep that in mind. It can be forfeited at any time, but you do have the access to retain what you've been given within a 100-day period. And you can sue them if they don't give you the access to that, which could lead you to a small compensation package of the value of what you bought. You wouldn't know that otherwise unless you were here. You know, if you spent $20 on a game and then like 50 years down the line it doesn't exist anymore, like the 180 days that after that expires, like if you don't get access to that content when it's shut down within 180 days, you can sue them for a package. You agree. Oh, we've already read that. Okay, hey. Accordingly, you may not assist others in selling services or in-game items for real currency or exchange those items
for value outside of the services. Evidence or any attempt to redeem downloadable content for a purported exchange, sale, gift, or trade in the real world will result in an immediate suspension and termination of your account and membership. Okay, this is really important, guys. You need to be careful. Even gifts are part of this. So tread lightly. If you are going to get downloadable content, it is the exclusive property of you. You cannot exchange it or gift it to anyone. So you need to make that very well clearly known. When you are entering into this game, you cannot buy it for others. It is prohibited. You will get banned. See? You wouldn't know this. You wouldn't know this unless you read this agreement. This downloadable content that we're going to be getting into, you cannot gift it to anybody. They will ban you. We're reading the important facts that no streamer dares tread. You acknowledge and agree that all virtual items represented in a limited license right for your personal, private, non-commercial, non-transferable, and limited use governed by the terms of service and are not redeemable for any sum of money or monetary value from ZeniMax at any time. ZeniMax reserves the right to refuse your request to acquire downloadable content and reserves the right to limit or block any request to acquire downloadable content for any or no reason. Oh, dang it. Okay, now this is a puzzle. How do we go about this, chat? This is saying that regardless of if you paid money for it or not, the downloadable content that you get from Oblivion reserves the right to limit or block any request to acquire that content. So if that means the 180-day period applies to that, how are you going to be able to have access to it if they can revoke it from you for no reason at any time? I don't know. We have a guest. Hey, come here. We're playing Oblivion. I don't have time for this RP walk. Just use your freaking controllers, man.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Guys, we have a guest on the show. It's Pick-a-Petey. How did you get in here? I thought this is an invite-only instance.
You're on blue.
Yeah, but it's invite only.
Yeah, well, blue, you automatically send an acceptance invite to an invite.
Oh, well, welcome in. We're playing Oblivion, and I'm reading the first scroll, known as the EULA. Are you familiar with that?
What's Oblivion?
Oblivion, the Elder Scrolls, brought to us by Bethesda Studios. Here, come here. Are you on camera? Oh, yeah, come over here. Oh, yeah, you're good. You're good. So, okay. It is, let's see. I am 2 hours and 20 minutes in, and the first thing that came up was an unskippable end-user license agreement, and it says that I am prohibited from playing the game until I read it in its entirety. We are on Section 2C of the agreement, and we're learning about downloadable content and what we own and what we don't own. I learned that you cannot use any likeness of Bethesda without their express written consent. So live on the stream, I removed the backdrop from my thumbnail. I can't use that. I cannot use any IP related to them in any of their content, including usernames. So like if your name, for example, was Dragonborn, they can and will revoke that from you. Now, can you help me understand something here? So it says in this agreement, downloadable content will expire and any kind of a closure for an account within 180 days. But at the bottom of that, it says they reserve the right to limit or block any request to acquire downloadable content for any reason. So if what does that 180 days mean then?
Oh, what? I'm sorry. What?
2 hours and 20 minutes. I am playing the Elder Scrolls. I am reading every scroll that has been presented to me, including the EULA.
So, Elder Scrolls 100% scroll run.
Yes, you get it. Yes, I'm the only person who's actually doing 100% completion. I am the only person who's legally allowed to play this game. I am reading it live. I'm so thirsty and winded. Help me. Would you like to read some and help give my lungs some breath? Even if it's just a couple
I don't see in front of me.
I can screen share it on Discord.
Wow. What a time. I had no idea I had other things to do.
No, it's been fun. No, it's been fun because I'm like interpreting what I think it means with no credentials. We're having a good time. I'm playing the game.
Service is great.
Dude, this is the most immersive game I've ever played. It actually extends into my life and my rights.
Well, yeah, you spent 2 hours reading the terms of service.
And I'm only on chapter 2 of 22.
There's 22 chapters in the terms of service? Who the fuck writes this shit?
That's what I'm saying, and it's requiring me to hit agree. It says I can't play the game unless I read it.
Oh my god.
Look, you have to understand, okay? Some games, they say, I agree with the extent of basically, like, if you hit I agree, unless you run into legal trouble, you technically don't have to read it. You can click to skip.
South Park made fun of this with the human Sentai pet.
Yes, I said that on stream already.
Okay, yeah. God damn it.
PD.
Yeah?
So, this game prevents you from playing unless you scroll through the entire thing. So I said, okay, if you're going to force me to read it, then I'll scroll through and read it. I'm not just gonna.
Equivalent of Mr. B starting his career counting to like 1 million on stream. It's equivalent to that. You're gonna be known for this. Soon you're gonna be making videos like, I read the terms of service of the entire documents of the United States.
And like as you're saying that, there's the Oblivion music in the background, like. Dude, just go look up my stream really quick. I got like the fire in the background, like the music.
Jesus Christ. I actually can't log on to Twitch on this fucking computer. I forgot my password.
Oh, I'm on YouTube too.
Oh, okay, YouTube.
Yeah. Here, I'll DM it to you. Hold on.
No. I need to go through the climax of finding your YouTube live stream.
Yeah, do you think it's difficult?
Yeah.
I mean, we got some guy from Finland that found it.
No.
Oh, the chat's going nuts right now. Stardust said playing in air quotes.
Yeah. I think I almost got it. Oh, we're going around town. Nope, I don't see it. Nope. Wait. I found it.
Really?
I see myself climaxing on stream.
I don't endorse that. But, I mean, that's his legal right. Wait, so you're saying that people could have just walked in at any time while I'm reading this agreement?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that new, though? Because I've done that before just to, like, bump me at the top of it.
And I just saw myself climax. It was great.
Oh, hell yeah.
But
yeah, Miko.
My own account? What the fuck is this?
You have to sign in to pickuped.com.
God, I have to sign into my Gmail of Wikipedia, and I don't know the password. I have to go downstairs and get my government documentations.
Oh, see, that's something I learned, though. So it said if you make an account with Bethesda, they're going to send you an email, but you need to have the legal right to owning everything within that email, and they make sure that you accept all the agreements of that email before you get it. It actually says that. So if you own that email, you better have the legal ownership of it and have read through all that agreement as well.
Verify it's you. Sign in again. Wait, what the fuck? Okay. Yeah, no, this Chrome's borked. It doesn't recognize me as anymore because I haven't been on this computer in a while. The cookies expired.
Yeah, that's why we read the cookies agreement. We're already past that part. So here's something else that I did that I think you'd like this. So before we got to the terms of service, we were in, what's it called? Hold on, I forget the name of it. We were in the privacy policy, but we got to a breach in the agreement that said if you are a potential employee or an employee of Bethesda, this does not apply to you. So I actually applied for a job in French Canada for Bethesda so that I don't have to read that part. So we're speed running here. We're at like record pace. I didn't hear.
Way out of.
You're like robot voice. I don't hear you yet.
Crash. So cringe. It's so cringe.
Dude, this is a voice mod. You're tricking me. Dude, you're on Ethernet. Give me a break.
I don't.
I like how your movement is completely smooth, but you're lagging. Give me a break.
No, I don't know what's going on. It's a bug.
Oh, wait, now you're good.
Wait, it is? I'm good now?
Yeah, you're fine now. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What were you saying?
This is a bug that happens. I was saying your stream is so cringe that you're gonna crash the stream my game.
Mm-hmm. And you know what's funny is that my audience waited like 2 hours while I was setting this game up because this is next-gen graphics that are meant for like a 5070 card. So I spent like an hour optimizing the game to get just the menu to open, and then we got to the agreement. And now it's 1:30 in the morning.
You're very loyal fans.
I do. I love you guys. We got so many people in here.
So wait, I can sort of read it off, so I give you a break. Are you at the terp, the first part, or the second paragraph?
We were just learning about what downloadable content is, and we read through that we don't own downloadable content for them, and they can get rid of your downloadable content for any reason at any time.
Let me try. Okay, let me read it off. Okay, ready?
Wait, hold on. Wait for section. No, wait. Section D. Give it a second to update. We're on section D. I've already read all that.
Section D. Well, put it on your screen.
It's on the screen. Section D, game mods.
Oh, yeah. Section D, game mods. Your content also includes game mods. The term game mod means downloadable user-generated content developed or created by you or a third party using an editor tool as defined below, in certain cases determined by ZeniMax. Game mods, a random fucking dude? Who's ZeniMax?
ZeniMax is the publisher that helped build Oblivion Remastered.
Okay.
Yeah.
May be available to other users of a service or game, and in such cases, such other users may download the game mods from ZeniMax or third parties and use such game mods in connection with playing a game or receiving a service from ZeniMax. Oh my god! This just is saying you can use game mods.
Yeah, it's a very verbose way of saying a game mod is basically anything you can download on the website and use with any of their games or services. And when you download them, you can use them. And that's all that part is saying.
Desire to this is clearly a company lawyer trying to justify their paycheck.
I mean, you're not wrong, but I mean, this is probably one of the most in-depth.
Some dude at Bethesda was like, I went to Harvard Law School, and I have to write a terms of service for a video game? Well, I'm just gonna justify my paycheck by writing the most convoluted piece of shit I have ever seen.
But it's written in a way that an NPC would talk, as you see ahead. If you desire to develop or create one of the more game mods, then you will be required to download them from ZeniMax website, or otherwise gain access via a ZeniMax website. One or more software tools through which you may create or develop game mods with, such as an editor tool.
Nope. I see a typo. They said ZeniMax website or one or more software tools through which you, the Y in you is capitalized. That is a grammatical error. This makes this entire document valid.
All right, we're gonna have to consult with our Chat GPT lawyer with that one to see if this is if it is indeed void. Then we can go ahead and skip this entire section. Hold on.
That is an old biddy of a middle school English teacher in the American system would say, "You can't capitalize that, you."
I'm looking it up right now. But you're correct. This was something that happened in Better Call Saul when they accidentally said the name of somebody incorrectly, and it messed up the whole document, and they got to go scot-free. So if that's the case, you may have just saved this entire stream from legal binding. Let's see. Okay, so at least from ChatGPT, it says, no, the capitalization of you with the Y does not make this agreement invalid, but here's why. Define terms. Legal agreements that capitalize the word you, we, or game mods, or editor tools indicate that they are defined terms with specific meanings. In this case, you likely refers to user licensee. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, okay.
In section 1, they said anytime.
They've turned you into a name.
It's a legal definition of what they are referring to as you. So it's not grammatically.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's you as a name. Okay.
Yeah, it's saying we are referring to you as you for the case of your convenience and simplicity, so that you don't have to sign every single segment with your signature, because otherwise, if they didn't write that, you would have to write Foxotic in the text every single time they refer to you. So for convenience purposes, they just call you.
Wait, what's in the English language when you refer? What is a name? It's like a
alias.
Is it a pronoun? That's not a pronoun.
No, an alias.
No.
I am you.
No, a person, place, or thing. You always capitalize it. It's a noun. Right?
Yeah, it's a noun. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, they turned the term "you" into a noun.
I learned that from Jumpstart. There's a whole song for that. It's a great song.
No, I learned it from Schoolhouse Rock.
Oh, heck yeah. It's probably the same song. I bet it's the same company.
So you is okay.
Yeah, you is you and me is me. So yeah, that's legal, unfortunately. That was a good call, though. I mean, because if there's anything I can do to get past any segments here, that'd be great. I was hoping that this segment would also be void for potential employees, but this part's for everybody.
I'll read the next paragraph, I guess.
All right, yeah, we'll finish. I'll have you finish up this section here, and then I'll continue. So you were at right here with the U.
You may create or develop game mods such as a tool as editor tool to obtain copy or get access to any editor tool. You will be required to agree to the terms separate of the EULA, the editor EULA, if there is a conflict in between the terms and conditions and when I scroll off. Terms and conditions of any such editor EULA in the terms and conditions in which these terms of service, the terms in the editor EULA will control over the conflicting terms in these terms of service, but solely for the purpose of the specific editor tool.
What the hell are they talking about?
Purpose.
So is it basically saying the tools that they use can only be used for making Bethesda-related content, and you can't reverse engineer it to make it for other games or something like that? Is that what it's trying to say?
Please review the terms in the editor EULA carefully. Period.
Okay, well, that doesn't apply to us unless we're mod making, so I think that's all right. We can skip that.
I guess.
Okay. But we're good. We're good. Okay. This is just a whole... I mean, there's a couch back here if you...
Oh my god, I just saw your scroll bar.
My scroll... Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We're in chapter 2 of 22. You see how tiny this grain of rice is? This is part 1 of our gameplay. Part 1.
Respect of the game mods made available for download from the ZeniMax website or made available from ZeniMax server. ZeniMax may, at any time, in its sole discretion, elect to remove such game mods from the ZeniMax website or servers without notice to you. So they can delete your shit without telling you because you made penises. Don't make penises. Okay.
Yeah, we were talking about that. We were talking about that before.
Of the game mod, where each game mod is owned by the developer of the game mod, subject to the licenses granted by the developer, and ZeniMax are set forth by the editor EULA. That means what your giant, thick penis models that you've made to put into Oblivion? You still own the thick, girthy penis models, alright?
Yeah, they've kind of restated this.
Delete it.
They've restated this, and I've said on stream if there's anything that is like the same text but for something else, we can go ahead and skip it. Because they basically said this but for downloadable content, but now we're on the mod section. So it's basically the same thing, but yeah, so you own your mod.
But it's not required under the terms of service to validate, test, or evaluate pre-screen game mods. That means if you make a big, thick, veiny penis mod, alright, it doesn't have to go through the game mods. They're not liable, alright? ZeniMax does not endorse, sponsor, guarantee, or approve any game mods, including without limitation game mods available for download for the ZeniMax website. Your experience with any particular game mod may vary from user's experience. If you elect to install, download, or use any game mods, you do so at your own risk. So,
in all caps.
In all caps. If you download my big, thick, veiny penis mod, alright? You do so, and you get fucked by my big, thick, veiny penis mod.
With discretion, with your legal consent. When you're going into that, PD will have his own agreement.
To get fucked by my big, thick penis.
Wait. Are you saying by arbitration, like you don't have to do an agreement based on this agreement, or are you saying that like you do need to have your own agreement that they will consent to at a later time?
I can't. Well, if people download and incorporate my giant, thick, veiny penis into themselves, they do so at their own will. And if they get fucked by my big, thick, veiny penis mod, they do so at their own discretion. And the company,
so it's like by continuing the service, you agree to do it. Like you get to the point of contact, and by the time you
insert the penis at your own will.
And risk. Okay, I gotta read this. I gotta read this chat. Wait. In chat, by the 9 divines, look at that scroll bar. That elder scroll bar. Oh my god, chat. The elder scroll bar.
Everything to veiny penises doesn't make sense.
It does. Except as prohibited by applicable law and subject to the statutory obligations as defined in Section 1, ZeniMax reserves the right, but has no obligation except as required by law to offer and make available, review, remove, block, or edit, or disable game mods for any reason without any notice. It has no liability of any kind with respect to game mods, including without limitation when ZeniMax determines that a game mod violates these terms of service or EULA. So again, guys, this is a forbidding warning.
About this. Someone's job was to write all of this.
That's what I said in the beginning of this stream. This is something that a person made. It's a whole novel. This is something...
The first 2 books in Harry Potter. No, they wrote this shit.
And it's specifically for this game. Custom.
Yeah.
We need to look him up on LinkedIn and thank him for his service.
Oh yeah. you know, the thing about the countless meetings that were dedicated to this fucking document.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so recap is basically they can remove the game mods at any time, and they have no liability for you or anybody else doing so. You can't sue them for doing it, even though you own the content, you own the rights to the content, but them removing it, you cannot do legal action over them doing that. Even if it's at a loss of your own profits, if you're selling it on the game or whatever, they don't care, and you're waiving your rights by agreeing to playing this game. To the maximum extent permitted by law and subject to statutory obligations. Huh?
I can't wait till they get to the chapter 16. Your firstborn.
Your firstborn is owned in part by Bethesda Studios. You must comply allegiance.
I bet you they have a thing over the terms of agreement of parents can't sue based on what their children experience in the game.
You think so?
I think
so. Like
that would be something that comes up.
So like liability is generational.
I will lay $20 down right now as a bet that it's going to eventually talk about that parents that bought the game and allow their children to play it, they cannot sue Bethesda based on what their parents based on what their children are.
Yeah, that makes sense because like you're signing for them. So yeah, that's definitely going to be in there. What I thought you were saying is like if they die and then their generation that passes on happens to play this game as well and they agree to it, but the kids don't, then like that those rights are inherited and waived on their behalf. You're glitching out.
God damn it.
Yeah, I can't hear you. Nope. Do you just have to wait it out, or like what else can you do? Okay. He exploded. He may or may not come back. That was Pickapedi, guys. If you don't know him, definitely check out his content. He's an animator. He's made some stuff for Nickelodeon. He's a good guy. Oh, here he comes. He's coming back. Let's try to squeeze out a section before he gets over here. Miko says rest in peace. Now he'll be fine. He's coming back. To the maximum extent permitted by law and subject to statutory obligations is defined in Section 1, as we've already read. ZeniMax does not assume any responsibility or liability for game mods or removal of any game mods for any failure to delay or removing any game mod. So they can give you a notice to remove the game mod on your own or make any changes or anything like that, but they're not... What are you doing? Why are you licking my weenus?
Yes.
Get out of here. Yeah, so basically they can advise you. They can advise you with your mod that they could say, "Hey, you need to make some changes," but they don't legally have to do that, but they could do that. Is what this section's saying.
I can't fucking do this. So dumb.
I'm only gonna do it for like 2 more hours today, you know, the 4-hour stream.
What a great stream. Okay, I'm gonna go check up on other people.
Okay, I'll be here. You can feel free to come back if you like.
I will. I'll come back. I'll come back.
I hope not. You're so short.
I know. Alrighty.
Okay.
Boop.
Later. Okay, again, yeah, that was Pickapedi. You may have seen him on YouTube. Here, I will shout him out real quick. Give me a second. He mainly does stuff on YouTube now. I mean, most of his stuff is like animation and VR chat. He does work with in VR. Pickapedi. I'm gonna drop his channel. Let's give him a follow, guys. Check him out. You've probably seen his I Hate Everything Cool Cat animation. That's like his most popular thing. But there is his channel if you're gonna subscribe to him and check him out. Okay, the use of virtual currency. This is section E. We were talking about this before, so chat, I'm gonna make this the interactive portion of the stream. The virtual currency section is about a page long here, and we can actually choose to not read this right now and opt out of the virtual currency section. So if you guys don't want me to read this section, we can actually skip this for now. But the second that I get any money in Oblivion, I have to come back to the agreement and read this section. So should we just get it out of the way, or do you guys want to skip section E on virtual currency? This is technically an optional section, as stated above. As long as you're not interacting with virtual currency of any kind, you don't need to read this section because it doesn't apply to you. But like that means that I would have to play Oblivion completely without any money at all, which means I'd probably have to steal and like find other means of getting things. And like the second that I even pick up money, like even if it's by accident, I would have to stop and go back and read this. All right, we have one chat. Bernie says to skip this section. So again, yeah, I'm forbidding you. Like if we do skip this section, I legally cannot pick up any virtual currency at all. I can't even have it on my person, let alone spend it until I read this. I would have to play without making any kind of money or bartering or anything. Like I would have to find a way without doing anything. Miko in the chat says, I don't know if in-game money is virtual currency. Well, that's an understandable perspective, but if you tuned in earlier in the stream, they did kind of refer to what virtual currency is. And as you can see in here, it's also listed down below in this section a little bit. It says it's complementary virtual currency, which means it's anything that's granted to you for free. It's basically any kind of currency that does not represent any kind of legal tender. And that could represent within a game as well. You obtain virtual currency and subject only to statutory obligations. It has no value of real currency. It's not transferable to any other person, returnable, exchangeable, or refundable for any real currency, goods, or services. By purchasing. Okay. Hold on. I actually need to skim this because I might be able to skip it anyways because I'm not planning on buying anything. But like, isn't complimentary? I guess, is it like something that's considered paid currency, but like it's gifted to you? For example, like if I claim something on Amazon Prime or something like that. Okay, here, virtual currency without a limitation. Purchased with real currency, in-game actions, or achievements as part of a membership benefit or otherwise. So as stated in here, this does include currency that you get in-game. Right here, it literally says in black and white, in-game actions. Now, we need to define what virtual currency is. Because, for example, in Fast Penguin, you can get paid currency just by playing the game. It is something that you can buy, but you don't have to buy it. If you play the game, and I can't even read one chapter of this book. Where's the camera? Where is this even at? Hang on. Does that dude gotta work tomorrow? Oh, this camera moved. It's in like flying mode or something. Or no, wait, is this? Oh no, it's just on my person. What the heck? My camera's ruined. Can I easily move this with hand tracking? I feel like probably not, but I'm gonna try. Like kind of. We're gonna have like a weird angle. Is that all right? Or do I have to pick up my controllers? You guys okay with like a downward angle, like this? Just a straight up like downward. I mean, I could do that easily. Like yeah, there you go. It's just this. I don't know if I can make it like... I don't think I can tilt the camera down. I could just be like really wide. Hello! looking down upon you. Chin cam? Oh yeah, it's chin cam. Yeah, I don't know. My I guess the connection just dipped for a second. Yeah, no chin cam. There. Alright. Let's continue our playthrough. I want you guys to know, if you haven't noticed already, I've been standing this entire time that we've played. I think it's about time that I sit down for a little bit. So let's go ahead and adjust. This is a tough game, man. I see how people are I don't know how people are getting as far as they have yet in the game. Like, there's some people that have already beaten the game, and I'm not sure how they got that far. Like, just coming up with all the enemies that we've seen in this contract, like the people that we need to be aware of, and the legal issues and stuff like that. I don't know how people got past it yet. It's honestly impressive, like how quick people can get through these things. I mean, to be fair, they're not reading aloud to an audience because they're lame and they don't play the game properly. They could have read the contract. I'm not just assuming that nobody read it. But you got to understand, like, most streamers don't really talk to their audience. Like, that, you'd be surprised. It's like less than 5% of streamers, like, in total. You get to think about the whole industry of people. It's usually just regular Joes that just want to, stream their gameplay. Speed reading helps. Right, but comprehension is also important too. If I just read through it and not understand it, then what's the point of me doing it? I'm not just reading through it just to get through it. I'm trying to understand my rights. Bernie says, this is one stream of Elder Scrolls and we're not even 25% of the TOS. Yeah, I'd say we're about 25%. And this 25% is not even part of the EULA yet. The EULA seems to be... I mean, it's a bit more palatable. We're kind of in the meat of it right now, and I feel like some of these sections are going to... some of these sections are going to be inside of here, but remember, this is a subsection that they said that we have to read before we even get into this. So we've gotten to this part so far. It says, for ease of reference, the ZeniMax Terms of Service may be found at this document here. And it says that if you do not accept the terms of this agreement, or have not read it and understood the ZeniMax media privacy policy, you cannot download, install, or use the game. So that's where we're at right now. We're just trying to get past this first boss. And it's a big load. It's a big load. So we still have the main scroll. We're at like a boss segment right now, and it's like a chapter 2 of the journey. But we're getting in there. Let's see. We're trying to figure out if we can skip this section. Sum of currency or monetary value from ZeniMax or any other person at any time prohibits, recognized, purported, transfer. Here, I'm going to do this. I'm going to speedrun this. I'm going to trust ChatGPT. I'm going to ask if this includes stuff that you would get, like, in the game itself. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't know for sure. So let's just do a quick check. Just a quick check. Does this include currency that you would receive from normal gameplay? Like gold or coins that cannot be purchased? Or does this currency only refer to the types of paid currency that can be bought but also can be granted for free in game but are considered paid currency? I'm going to just trust this because I don't have a lawyer present. We'll go ahead and check and see if this talks about like the game currency that you actually get. Let's see here. Yes, this agreement includes both types of currency. Earned currency from normal gameplay like golds or coins is classified as virtual currency. All virtual currency that's purchased with real currency would be referred to as purchase currency. Direct purchases, complementary currency, earned through gameplay, part of promotions, goodwill, achievements, free rewards, even if it looks like paid currency.
The agreement treats all in-game currencies that fit their definition of virtual currency. It has no real-world value, it's non-transferable, it's license only, it may not be lost or... So if gold or coins earned in-game are considered virtual currency by ZeniMax, then other games that define what the EULA says, then yes, it falls under this clause, even if they can't be bought with real money. You should check the specific EULA to see if certain currency, like gold, are excluded from virtual currency by definition. This, in general, allows the TOS to each game have its own... Okay, so we're going to put a pin on it then. We don't need to read this for now then. It's basically saying it needs to be included in its language in order for it to be considered virtual currency. So there's a chance that the gold itself doesn't count, but that's likely going to be in the EULA Elder Scroll and not the Terms of Service scroll. Because this one is specific to the game. This one is for general Bethesda subsidiaries. So we're going to go ahead and skip section E for now, because I think this only applies to things that, you know, even if it's not something that is paid, we need to make sure, like, by definition they're talking about the gold or not, or like what specifically we can earn in the game. Virtual currency for residents of Japan, we don't need to link that. Now we're on to section F, and we're finally making it over to chapter 3. The limited license to use. Okay. Unlinked accounts. Warning for unlinked accounts. To the extent of ZeniMax and its sole discretion permits you to download or play a game without having an account or without linking that game to your account, including without limitation, enabling you to purchase, receive, or download any downloadable content, including without limitation in virtual currency for such game. Then if you purchase, receive, or download downloadable content using a device that is not linked to an account, and your device is lost, stolen, or damaged, your device or data hacked, then such downloadable content, as well as your UGC, game settings, data, and in-game achievements, in-game purchases will be lost. And ZeniMax will not be able to, and ZeniMax will not restore such downloadable content or UGC, game settings, data, and in-game achievements or purchases. Guys, that is huge. So it's basically saying, you have the right, you have the legal right to not sign up with Bethesda. You don't need to sign up to this ZeniMax website or experience, but if you do that, you are forfeiting your legal right for them to be able to help you in any way. So, if you want maximum security, even with the clause of 180 days of having your stuff being removed, the only way to do that is to be signed in to the Bethesda site. You could be playing Oblivion, having a great time. You could be putting 700 hours into this game. But if you don't sign in, they have no way to help you. So if you want to make sure that your game stays intact, you need to make an account at Bethesda.com and link your account. And then they'll be able to help you. But if you don't sign in, you'll lose everything. You won't be granted your DLC that you bought. You will lose all your settings and other UGC made by other players. You'll lose your achievements. Subject to the statutory obligations as defined in Section 1, ZeniMax shall have no liability, and you risk all loss be borne by you with regard to any downloadable content, game settings, data, in-game achievements, and in-game purchases associated with your access to or purchase, receipt, download, play, or use of downloadable content using a device that is not linked to an account. I cannot stress this enough. You must sign up for Bethesda.com or you will lose everything. I highly recommend our sponsor, Bitwarden.com. It's a free service that allows you to generate your own username and it's not affiliated with any account that you own. You can generate a password. You can do anything you need to keep yourself clear and well met for this journey ahead. We've made it to chapter 3, which means we have earned the beautiful Oblivion victory sound effect once again. Let's get some hype in the chat, guys. We got through section 2. Let's freaking go. Yes! Section 2 of 22 is complete. We got 20 more chapters to go. And this is only the TOS. We have not even been able to open this EULA yet. We're still at the first section of this one. So it'll be quite a great stretch. I'm gonna go ahead before we close out. I'm gonna just skim through this and see if there's other references in here that we're gonna need to go into, because I'm hoping that these first two sites are the only reference that they want us to agree to, and the rest is all contained herein. I'm gonna hope that everything that's specifically related to Oblivion is all in here. It doesn't go anything where I'm excited to see. We're going to be talking about time bombs. If you take any action or upload, post, transmit, promote, or distribute any content that may contain a Trojan horse or a time bomb or corrupted data, you could die. Any attempt to do any of the following foregoing is a breach of the agreement in violation of intellectual property rights. So be excited. We're going to be reading about how you should not create a time bomb for this game. In the chat, Stardust Bun says, I don't know why I stayed for this entire ass stream. And this is just part one. We're going to be continuing our gameplay of Oblivion, of course. So we need to make sure we are legally contended. So I was planning on doing some Fox-related content tomorrow. Or I'm sorry, on Monday, because that's my next off day. So we will do a short segment before we get into Oblivion. We're going to be playing The Endling and The Spirit of the North, which are two games that are related to Fox characters, which will be fun. We'll probably do that for 30 minutes to an hour each, depending on how engaged I am with it, but one of those games is a Keymailer game, so I want to give it a chance, check it out. So we'll be doing that. And then after that, we'll be continuing the Eula adventure here, of course. And we are simply at... I think we're good. I think we're good. Like, we got this section about time bombs coming up, and that sounds fantastic. There's a whole thing about extortion here. There's a whole thing about, like, threatening the company, the U.S. government rights of the game. There's a whole bunch of really nice stuff in here. But yeah, in the meantime, we'll be taking a break from this on Monday, and we'll be playing some not photo games. I read photo sensitive here. We'll be playing some Fox games on Monday, and then we'll be coming back to our playthrough of Oblivion. So yeah, this is our first 3 hours of the game, and yeah, honestly, I guess my review so far is I'm pretty neutral about it. I think the sound design is pretty cool. We got some cool UI that goes into the gameplay of it as well. The opening was really nice too. Like, this is just like my first impressions, but like, I really like the opening screen. The one thing that I didn't like was that it doesn't really give you the option to optimize your settings right away unless you force it through the NVIDIA control panel. So the reason why we didn't start at 8 p.m. today is because I had to go through the hoops of going through the NVIDIA app and actually optimizing getting Oblivion ready. I had to go through here and I had to crank the settings way the heck down. And that was the only way I could do it without skipping this agreement. So you actually have to force your way through a backdoor to make the game perform it for you, even on the menu screen. This menu screen even uses RTX capabilities, so just keep that in mind when you're playing this game. And that's kind of affecting my impression score as well, because I feel like a lot of people who aren't tech savvy wouldn't know to do that, and I feel like a lot of people would probably refund this game, thinking that they can't run the game on their computer because even the menu screen is like 2 frames per second. So yeah, that's kind of like my first impressions of it. So far, the gameplay is pretty feature-rich. As far as the story goes, I mean, it talks about like how we can build our own content. It tells us about the tasks that we'll have lying ahead, like the kinds of legal battles that we could be struggling through as we go through, the kinds of currencies that we could be approaching into, both paid and earned and granted. There's a lot of depth that like I really wasn't expecting going into an Oblivion game. That I think, yeah, this has a lot of potential, and I'm excited to see what else is going to be foreshadowed, if you would, in this EULA. So yeah, this is a pretty good game so far, and like I see where the hype comes from. Like just getting into this first segment, I mean, it's pretty solid, and I really want to thank Microsoft and Game Pass for being able to grant this game, because yeah, I would have waited a while before I played it on my own. But yeah, again, what I love about games that are partnered with Microsoft in general is that a lot of them have this this barrier that prevent you from hitting accept. You can't acknowledge that you agree in general. This game and many others require you to read the full and entire thing. By clicking accept, I confirm that I have read and acknowledged the ZeniMax privacy policy, and I agree to the media in terms of service code of conduct. So there is possibly one more link that is the code of conduct, but I do believe that the code of conduct is within the EULA. So we'll find that out next time. So tune in next time. Yeah, we'll probably be doing more gameplay of Oblivion after we do our key miller content on Monday. So we'll keep you posted. And if you guys are still here, we're probably going to be raid somebody else. So let's go see who's live. Let's see what we got.
Bob, it is. Bob has...
Interesting. Okay, well, one option is Tushi, but it's not really related. It's up to chat. I want to know what you guys think. So Tushi is a streamer that has been streaming, and I think this is kind of on theme, I guess. Tushi has been streaming for 4,360 days in a row, which means he tries to go live for at least like 5 minutes. But a lot of times he streams for a long time. And right now, he's streaming IRL. He's somewhere in Thailand riding on the back of like a buggy or something. And he's just like hanging out and vlogging. So that's one option. We could raid him if you guys are interested in that. Otherwise, I'm going to see like who else is playing Oblivion, but just keep in mind, guys, when you're watching these games, just know that you're not bound to the legal agreements if you're watching other people playing Oblivion. So just keep that in mind. If you're worried that if you're viewing the content of Elden Ring or Oblivion on Twitch, those agreements go into the Twitch TOS themselves. So go ahead and have a read at that if you haven't yet already. But I'm assuming since everybody's in here and watching my stream, you guys are already set up for that. But yeah, let's go ahead and see. I'm gonna check who's live for Oblivion 2. Which is like a lot of people. I want to see if I can find like somebody that would be worth. I don't know. It's kind of hard. I don't know how do you like do tags on Twitch? Like, how do you search for tags? I don't know. I don't know how to do this. But yeah, if I wasn't working tomorrow, I would be doing this till 5 a.m., but I gotta go to work. I guess you click on Oblivion and then you search for tags. Yeah, here we go. Okay, let's see. What the? Is this guy just freaking Brother Bear? This guy's avatar is literally just like the guy from Brother Bear. You see this? Oh, he's actually moving. He's on Google. He's looking at men. What is this? I don't know what this is, but I want to find out. Bear Debonair. Oh, it's like fancy too. Wait, but hold on. Let me get a picture of Brother Bear for reference. That's literally Brother Bear. What is it? Who is this? Have you guys seen this movie? You guys remember this? You guys ever seen Brother Bear? That's literally Brother Bear. This guy is like freaking Brother Bear tuber. Here, check him out. Look, wait, where'd he go? Wait, where'd he go? Dude, it's freaking Brother Bear. What is this? Okay, guys, let's go raid him out. I'm gonna send the link on for YouTube as well, but hold on a second. We're gonna try out Bear Debonair, yes? I'm gonna try him out. For YouTube, here's the link. For Twitch, you're gonna be joined in a raid in just a second. We're gonna check him out. I have no idea who this person is, so your mileage may vary. He might be a good guy. I don't know. This is his Brother Bear. Oh, Bernie's saying it is like the actual Brother Bear. Okay. Holy crap. That sounds fantastic. Okay, let's go ahead and raid him out. Here we go. In the top of the screen there, if it says you're in the raid, you're good. If it doesn't put you in automatically, click the join raid button at the top of your screen. Our raid call is going to be, I'm going to say this. We're going to put a fox, and we're going to put a bear. And let's say, bear, comma, meet foxed. Boom. So copy and paste that. Show me you have it ready in the chat. If you don't have it ready, then whatever. We won't do the raid call. Whatever. But like, yeah, if you want to like have some fun with it, like just copy and paste that and let me know you have it ready. But like, you don't have to. I mean, I know it's late. People might have fallen asleep in this chat. We might just have a bunch of snoozing people hanging out with this bear. I'll give you a second. You just like if you're on mobile, you just press and hold on that text, and then you hit copy, and then you press and hold on the text box, then you press paste. Bear debonair. Okay, we don't need to do the raid call. That's fine. You people stink. Okay, have fun, guys. Enjoy the bear. He's. I think he's past this part. Ask him if he read the EULA. It's okay if he didn't. We're not like witch hunting him if he didn't, but like just for your own like sake. I don't know. I don't know. I'm curious. Oh, Salmon says, "Well, I feel bad now." No, it's all right. Yeah, I think most people just fell asleep. It's kind of late. Okay, here we go, guys. I'll see you guys on Monday. It'll be around like 8 p.m. I appreciate you. If you guys are new here, you haven't followed yet, you know what to do. Thanks for watching, guys.